Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Macau Grand Prix and the Sun City Group Macau gear race about to get underway. 2.0T. And of course, this has since the early 70s been one of the greatest races of this Macau Grand Prix, and it continues to be. We've had different types of races coming here as part of the gear, including the World Touring cars, and now the TCR cars racing for their international championship. And this is the qualification race, which is delayed, I may add. Well, as you can see, the reason for that delay is they are still getting the debris off the track from the previous race, and we had quite a lot of drama in that previous race as we take a look at Stefano Camini, the man who was so exciting this time last year, and it was pretty interesting watching him in practice and qualifying for the gear race this year. He has a task in hand though, because he's some 17 points adrift of the championship leader, and he's also not in pole position because that goes to his teammate. In terms of the weather here, as you can see, it's a little bit cloudy, very humid, 82% humidity, very, very muggy indeed, and that just kind of puts a heaviness in the air. There's no question about it. You can feel it when you walk around, and it's quite hard work, to be fair, and I think it's probably quite hard work in the cars. Air temperature of 26, and it looks as though it's going to stay that way. There is, I can tell you, a 40% chance of rain, and if you are a negative person, you'd say, oh, it's going to rain, and if you're positive, you'd say, well, it's a 60% chance it won't. So depends how you look at it, really. Tiago Monteiro, he is always looking at the positive side of life. I'm Jonathan Green, and alongside me, as always, is Alan Hyde. And Alan, as we look ahead to the gear race, a lot at stake, and also, more importantly, the pride of winning the Macau Grand Prix. As we look at the entry list, it's Camini, Varney, and Yan of Hong Kong. He was the TCR Asia champion, and it's still up for grabs in terms of his runner-up spot. Kajaya, his teammate, Grachev has had problems, Tassi, Morbidelli, and Alex Hui in the Citroën Elise. Sonny Wong of Hong Kong. So we've got a mixture of the international crowd. We've got individual Chinese entries and a few drivers like Terence C and William O'Brien from TCR Asia who are fighting in their own battle. But all eyes will be on James Nash of Great Britain. He, in the 54 Seat Leon, leads the championship for TCR International. It's been a long year, and they've raced quite a lot in Asia as well, around the world, of course, but also in Singapore, around the streets, and that's perhaps the closest to comparison for these boys, but there's no comparison to Macau at all. And Tiago Monteiro knows it, and he's come back specially to be part of this, having been here as a Formula 3 driver and a World Touring Car driver. And Edgar Lau and William Locke. That's your entry list. And a quick wink from Gianni Morbidelli. A lovely man. If you ever get a chance for an audience with Gianni, he is good company. West Coast racing man who's been around in racing now for quite some time, and he's done the lot. You can name anything that he hasn't raced in, I'd be surprised, because he's done pretty much everything from Formula 1 all the way down to karts. And West Coast, without a doubt, as we can see, there's a delay here, and Alan, I think it's basically we've got to get the fence right, yeah?
Yeah, repair of barrier and fencing down there. We've already had one support race this morning. It was for touring cars. It was for the CTM Macau Touring Car Cup.
It was a cracker too.
And we had a super race, super duper race. But unfortunately, we had a couple of pretty heavy impacts on the barriers, and therefore they've got to be ready to get racing underway. And the course officials know exactly what to do. They know where to inspect. The pillars that hold up the barriers have got to be firmly in place before we get the race underway.
That's a great shot, isn't it? From the feet, just sitting there. And that's the race position. And there's your championship leader, James Nash, just relaxing.
He's smiling. That's good news.
You can tell he's smiling, yes.
That's a good way to go into the day. They are.
Good look inside one of these cars, though. Look at the gear lever. It's almost rally-esque, isn't it?
Tis. These are great cars. These have proved very popular.
Talking of rally, we had a wet qualifying yesterday, which is rare.
We had a wonderful moment yesterday.
We did have a wonderful moment, which I would love to see, but go and look it up on YouTube. Basically, Stefano Camini does a handbrake turn around the Melco. I think the first ever to do it. And he said in the press conference afterwards, I scored a point for myself.
His face lit up as he
he's
told the
Swiss
story.
Italian, so that my impersonation doesn't.
He said he'd always wanted to race here at Macau in the wet. Well, that's one box ticked, and he'd always wanted to therefore do a handbrake turn around Melco hairpin. 2 boxes ticked.
Now, if he'd have done that in a race, that really would have changed my world. But I was pretty impressed that he did it anyway. David Kajayas had a few problems. He was stuck with traffic in qualifying. He was interviewed by Mark James after the qualifying session and was a little disappointed because he was out-qualified, in fact, by his teammate from Hong Kong, Andy Yan. So a little bit disappointed, but the Liqui Moly boys will be out, I'm sure. Where's my steering wheel? That's good work. That is good work. Oh dear, I forgot my steering wheel. I tell you what, it's going to be a couple of interesting laps for Pepe Oriola. You know what? I mean, I know there's BOP, but that is, I didn't realise that Pepe had been penalised that badly.
Here it is.
There he is. And now he's giving us an advert for Seat. That man is smart.
He's worked it all out, hasn't he? Very good. So, a delay to the start of our qualification race as the barrier is repaired. Did take a couple of quite heavy bumps. Saw the sparks flying. We're seeing the sparks flying again now, welding down there.
Yeah, this could be quite some delay, I'm afraid, folks. And we've had a few technical gremlins, so we apologise for that. We had the delay. I apologise for the delay. We've got that sorted, I'm glad to say. And we are with you. And yes, as you can see, they're climbing back on board, so maybe they're getting close, but still a lot of work going on. But this is necessary, and this is also a real test of these guys like Borkovic and the rest of the drivers in their cars right now. And I wonder if the delay continues, whether they'll pop out and maybe get out of the cars, because after a while, it gets pretty sticky in there. And as I said, 83% humidity right now. That is not a lot of fun.
4 days comprise the Macau Grand Prix. A day of free practice, a day largely of practice and qualifying, all looking forward to these 2 big races, the Sun City Group Macau gear race. And as we see the course vehicles, I did say that Maserati had provided quite a lot of glorious machinery as the course cars this weekend. Just saw another one of them.
Now, they've done a balance of performance after qualifying, and the big news of that is that the China Touring cars have been having a real massive 80 kilograms taken off their cars to try to make them more competitive. And that's the Audi A3, the Citroën Elise, the Ford Focus, and the Mercedes-Benz C260, who's had a rotten weekend.
How much? 80.
Can you believe that? Pretty impressive.
I weigh 70.
There you go.
So that's more than a person.
There you go. So, and in the gear itself and the TCR adjustments, we've had minus 40 kilograms for the Alfa Romeo. That too has struggled. Plus 30 for the Honda Civic, plus 30 for the Opel, plus 20 for the Seat of the DSG version and the SEQ version, plus 30. The Subaru, which I don't think there is a Subaru out there at the moment, minus 20, and a minus 10mm ride height change for the VW. Which actually, given the way this circuit is and how much you're using the suspension, especially in the fast part of the circuit, is not without significance. It's not weight, but ride height, massively important. So we await the festivities, and they are underway in front of our commentary position. We're just to the left of the shot you see right there, looking down over the hospitality suites, and down on the festivities. We've got actors and actresses and DJs. And
just had a really big yawn from Pepe Oriola.
Well, you know, it's so funny. I used to look at that and wonder what was going on and why all these racing drivers, and I didn't realise that that is actually just the body saying, fight or flight, we're getting ready.
Yeah.
So it's not that he's tired.
A bit more oxygen, please.
Having said that, it is Macau. He could well have, you know, not been able to get to sleep last night.
Well, one of the problems for many of the drivers when they come to Macau is adjusting to the sleeping.
Well, not just the drivers.
It takes a good while to get into, for people that have come from England, like James Nash, for example, plus 8 hours over here in Macau.
Try plus 12.
Yeah, of course.
Well, is he asleep? We'll find out. He's down in the pit lane, and Mark James is going to wake him up as we go down to the pit lane and talk to him.
Pepe, good morning. A slightly frustrating start to the day.
Yeah, I just got out of the car because we had no information when is the track going to be repaired. So yeah, a little bit frustrating because I really want to push today. I feel so confident. If it stays dry, I'm going to go for the win in race 2. So I want to try to go in the front in race 1, taking risks, but not as many as to go crazy. But in race 2, I really want to show everybody the potential I had yesterday and I couldn't show because of the rain. And if it's rain, I hope the guys of the team found something to at least be a little bit competitive, not 5 seconds off as yesterday, as was incredible.
So is race 1 all about survival?
Well, not survival, because obviously starting from P10, what I have to do is try to win as many places as I can in Lisboa, but not trying to not getting in the end of the or in the wall, because at the end there's no reverse to it. So it's just taking some risks, but not going like crazy. I don't play for the championship, but I really want a good result over here in Macau, especially because next year we're not going to be here. I love this track, and I just had 1 second in the past years, so I really want to go for a win on race 2 if it's possible. And if the guys are playing for the championship, I don't think they're gonna risk much against me, as they know that I don't think it twice when I try to overtake.
Who's the pressure on today? Because you seem very relaxed this morning.
Well, I've been relaxed the whole week, and imagine more now more obviously, because I did the best I could. I did second in free practice, second in free practice 2, without new tires. Yesterday in Q1 was the first time I pushed, and suddenly arrived the rain, and I couldn't show my potential. So yeah, I'm relaxed. Seat knows I'm a fast driver. The team knows. The championship knows. People knows. So I'm 22 years old still, even if they tell me that I'm like an old guy which races touring cars, which is true, but at the end I'm 22 years old and I'm playing against James, which is 29, Stefano, which is 26, Giancarlo, which is 30 almost. So no pressure on me, just do my work, keep going in the way I'm going, and the championship will arrive sooner or later.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Great insight into what's going on out there, to be honest, because that was brilliant by Pepe, and well done, Mark, because that really does give you exactly where we stand, effectively. Pepe Oriola is determined to take a win here at Macau, just like so many others who have done so in the past, and he said, I've obviously taken a couple of second places, but never taken a win here, and really wants to do it. And the pressure's off him because he doesn't believe he can win the championship. And just to explain also, the format, basically you race as hard as you can in the qualification racing, so it's the same as Formula 3, for your position effectively for the grid for race 2. So it's all about, as Mark says, survival, but effectively keeping your nose clean in that first race, which is easier said than done here at Macau. But that's what this race is about, and then it's hell-bent for leather for race 2. We have a 15-minute gap between the races while they do any repairs or adjustments that they want. Talking of which, I think we have finished our adjustments and repairs, and we are about to go racing for the gear. So you can see for yourself. We apologise for the delayed international broadcasters, but we've had a fence repair at Macau at a critical corner, the first corner on the track. Now, what about the championship leader, James Nash from Great Britain? Big day for him. Let's go down to Mark James. He's got him.
James Nash still in his car at the pre-grid. James, I just spoke to Pepe. He was at the car. He looked very relaxed. All I can see is your eyes. Are you relaxed in there?
Yeah, sorry, I missed your question totally because Nick chose a perfect time to talk to me. But you know, I'm feeling quite good, in a fairly good position on the track. My teammates are around me, so I feel fairly safe. We just got to move forward and minimise the damage in race 1 and make sure we're in a good position for race 2.
I asked Pepe, is race 1 all about survival? Is just getting through? Race 2 is the important one, I guess.
Yeah, around Macau, both races are important, but you know, first of all, you do have to finish the first race to make sure you're in a position to race 2. With such a short time in between the 2 races as well, we haven't got any repair opportunity. So everything's important in Macau, as it is every weekend, and it's just a bit unfortunate that we only have a 5-minute window to fix our cars if there is any problems.
How frustrating is a delay like this, where you don't really know what's happening and you could be going out in the next couple of minutes or maybe sitting here for 10 minutes?
Yeah, for me, as long as I'm in the car, then I'm prepared, so I'm comfortable. I'll stay in the car and just wait. I'm ready when they are.
All right, good luck.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Another fascinating insight, and yes, not so much survival, but to finish first you must finish. We all know the expression, but it's never more clear than it is in this race, because you have to do and complete and finish the first race to be able to go for race 2. So yes, it is a matter of survival, but I liked his expression better. It's at a damage limitation.
Yep. I mean, you could be a hero in race 1, but you could also cause an awful lot of damage, and that damage limitation, I think, is perhaps the most poignant insight that we've got into this race.
Staying out of trouble would be my expression.
Yep. It's very much a question of keeping the car up. It only takes the slightest of problems on track. We've seen it already in one of the support races. We don't want to see it now.
Interesting to see how this man approaches it, Kamini, because he's well known for putting on a show, and he only knows one way, and that's fast forward. And I just wonder just how calm he will be, having won this race before, having known that the championship is on the line. His teammate, though, is the man to watch. Let's head down to Mark James and hear from Jean-Carl Vernet.
Another man out of his car and looking very relaxed this morning is Jean-Carl Vernet. You're on pole. You shouldn't be looking this relaxed.
Why not? I know what I have to do, so I don't have to stress so much. I mean, yeah, we'll see. It's the final today of the championship. There's a lot of stress in the paddock, a lot of stress on the grid with the Luco driver. So no, we'll see. I mean, what can I do? Just have to take a good start, try to push, try to win the race, and then we'll see after the checkered flag.
You told me before the weekend that the plan was pole position, race win, and then we see what happens. So far, you've achieved the first of those ambitions.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. As soon as I say I have to do pole, I do pole. So now it's pretty cool. Now, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on during the race, what's going on with Nash. There are the two guys for the title with Stefano. So we'll see if I have to play as teammates or if I can go for myself. This is also important. It's important for Leopard. It's important for Volkswagen. So we'll see.
You've won here in Macau in other categories. Can you add to that win tally?
Yeah, I know how to do it. I mean, I've won a few races already this year. I won here, so we'll see. I have to be focused and stay calm, taking a good start, good first lap, and it's going to be tricky because, I mean, we're a little bit slower in the straight. We have also Seat and Honda behind us, so we'll see what's going on before Mandarin and after Mandarin until Lisboa corner. As soon as I will be out of Lisboa, I will be even more calm.
We'll be watching. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, he's practically horizontal already, but once he gets through Lisboa, he says he's going to be even more relaxed. But a man who's won here knows exactly what it takes. He's taken a brilliant pole position. And there is. Look, the brothers. It's the brothers Camini, isn't it?
It's so long the beard normally.
This is Stefano Camini out of the car, chatting with the fans and showing us that grizzly beard. It's like Grizzly Adams gone wrong. It doesn't look as though he never looks. He looks like the most unlikely of racing drivers. But let me assure you, don't be fooled by both his affable demeanor and his rather scraggly look, which is not like many racing drivers. But he isn't like many racing drivers, because this Swiss driver is special. Camini is a one-off and one of a kind. There's no question about it. And when you see him drive and when you see him attack this gear circuit, this is a man absolutely in his element. Looks like we've got another repair going on now. Now, talking of the Grizzly Adams I just mentioned, let's hear from the man himself, Stefano Camini.
It's like a ZZ Top convention here. Everybody's looking so relaxed this morning. Considering this delay, I'd have thought the tensions would be building.
I don't know. I think we are already in tension, but I think it's a play that we all play to like to be relaxed. But I'm not relaxed now. Now I am like, I want to finish. I want to finish. I want to finish, and I want to win the championship. Okay.
Well, you did a great job towards that yesterday. You've closed the gap on James Nash, but also the guys behind you have also tightened things up. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, of course, and yeah, I'm quite better than the other because I have my teammates that is starting on the front, and I'm sure that Jean-Carl will help me. And yeah, only we need to wait and to look what will happen.
Yeah, but they say the first person you have to beat is your teammate. Can you?
Yeah, but not this time. This time Jean-Carl is racing for me and for the team.
The hairpin, we saw you handbraking around in the wet yesterday. That video has been seen like 250,000 times on Facebook. They obviously like the way you did that.
Sorry?
The video of you going around Demelco with the hairpin, you used a handbrake to go around. People like that on social media.
Yeah, I look them, and yeah, someone told it was a replay from Sebastian Loeb. Yes, a little bit, yes, but I did it every lap, quite every lap, and I did it in my fastest lap.
You're having fun, aren't you?
Yeah, a lot. A lot, was so funny, and I hope it will rain again so I can do it again.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Ciao, guys.
Well, like I said, never a dull moment with the man that is Stefano Camini. What a character. And if you're going to compare yourself to a rally driver, why not make it the greatest rally driver of all time, Sebastian Loeb, whom I, incidentally, raced here in this gear race. And to good effect, didn't win, but yeah, Sebastian Loeb, one of the greats of both rally now and touring cars. But Stefano, I didn't realize, explaining he actually did that handbrake turn on his fastest lap.
Every lap.
Not against the rules, my friend.
Every lap. Wow.
But how quick that does make the whole corner very quick.
he just lights up. It was the same in the press conference yesterday. As soon as they mentioned the wet at Macau, his whole face lights up. Incredible character.
Yeah, he's a racer's racer, as I like to say, and there's no question.
Brilliant.
Yeah, if you're a fan of racing, then start following Stefano Camini, and it sounds like 250,000 people have just tuned in to his exploits, right. And I think this race will also identify him. Now, Tiago Monteiro is definitely one of the favourites here. He, of course, is Portugal #1 here. Let's hear from him.
Tiago, we've been talking to the championship contenders. Obviously, you're not scrapping for the championship. What can you do in there?
Yeah, that's a good question. Of course, as I said yesterday, I'm going to try not to interfere with the championship. But, you know, I'm here to try to win the race, so I'll do anything I can to do it. But I'll play it fair. You know, I'll try and play nice. But if I need to be a little bit aggressive, I'll have to be, because I really want to win that one. So we'll see. We'll see. It's always difficult, especially in Macau. So many things can happen. Yeah, just I want to get out there and enjoy, really.
You've had a very mixed weekend so far. Quickest in free practice 1, the turbo problem in free practice 2. What can you do today?
Yeah, that's Macau is never easy, and it seems that every time I come here, there's always something. It's never an easy weekend. The track itself is already a huge challenge, but then there's always something added on. But you know, I want to finish on a high, I would say. We started well,
and I want to finish well as well. So I'm quite okay with the qualifying. On the dry was okay, on the wet it was difficult, but still P3 was okay. So yeah, definitely want to finish on a good note, and you know, I'm here as a guest to enjoy it, and I hope I can enjoy it until the end.
I'm guessing this delay is also typical Macau because of the repairs to the barriers, because of so many races.
Yeah, it's not unusual. It's getting a bit long now, but it's not unusual. Unfortunately, we are used to that. It's part of the whole atmosphere.
Enjoy yourself today. Good luck.
Thank you.
Again, another fascinating insight, and yeah, I mean, a bit like yesterday with the Formula 3. Yes, we don't like delays, but I know those of you tuning in and watching around the world will also be enjoying the fact that you're getting a different insight into the motivation of each of the drivers and their interest in this race. Tiago Monteiro, of course, a guest driver, but as he alluded to, he wants to win this race. If he gets a chance and he's in an opportunity to win, he's going to take it, because he's not won here at Macau. And of course, being a Portuguese driver, and with Antonio Felix da Costa also going so well, Tiago wants to win here. There he is, the man I just mentioned, Antonio Felix da Costa. He'll be in the Formula 3 coming up, but he took a bit of layback characters. What a guy. And I've got a feeling he might just well be the man to beat this afternoon. You want to stay tuned for that. It's all coming up. And there is Tiago. So he's supporting him, Edgar Lau, a Hong Kong driver. So we've got China touring cars, and we've also got TCR Asia cars, and of course the international field as well. Philippe Decombe, a man who's been here some 20 years looking after Asian racing and Asian teams, and raced here himself. I remember him winning a Formula Asia race here many, many years ago. You won't want me to remind him of that, but he was rather quick and handy in a single-seater, I may add.
That's a good sight.
Yes, finally, we're starting to look as though we might get ever closer to the qualification race. And this is 2 races, remember, a qualification race. And just to reiterate what the drivers are saying, I will predict this. Now it's official in terms of once we've spoken to Stefano. Don't think for 1 minute that Comine is not going to go for it. Now, another man we all love talking to, Gianni Morbidelli. Let's hear from him with Mark.
Gianni, you're the perfect man to ask. You're an independent witness. What's going to happen in the 2 races and in the championship?
Oh, difficult to say. Here it's unpredictable, because Macau is one of those places where you cannot know what can be. I mean, it's so strange a circuit, especially the first corner, this walk corner. I don't know if somebody will take a risk or not, but you never know. You must be careful. You must have 100 eyes, not only 2, because you have to control everywhere, behind you, in front of you, and then the lateral side as well. So it will be difficult, but to be honest, at the moment, what I see that Comini have a small advantage.
What's the plan for you? Stay out of trouble, I guess.
Well, that's always, but you know, doesn't depend only from myself. Of course, I will try to find a nice hole where to pass, but as I said, it's not easy. It's not a track where you can make any strategy.
Now, we know about the Volkswagens in the wet. In the dry, the Honda seems to be really quick, so you must be hoping for no rain today.
Yeah, that's for sure. We were quick on the dry condition, but it's quite difficult to overtake here. So even if you are quick, sometimes even if you are half second quicker than the others, it's not so easy. But let's see, we are going.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yep, Gianni Morbidelli telling it like it is. And he says, yeah, it's just not one of those races you can predict anything. And it was a good question. But yeah, there is really no way of answering that, because Macau is so unpredictable. It does seem ironic that this is a gambling capital, and didn't used to be, but it was always the odd casino. But now, of course, it's literally the biggest gambling capital in the world as well, and it's a fascinating place to come and visit if you ever get a chance, because it's so much more than that, culturally, great restaurants, great events, including
hotels like you've never seen before.
You know, your eyes wide open the whole time you're here. I mean, it's just, it is a spectacle. It's a spectacle on a Monday morning, never mind during race weekend. And yeah, it's a fascinating place as Camini finally steps into his helmet and gets ready to go racing. Well, my prediction is this. That's Jean-Carl Vernet getting in as well. But my prediction is this, and we heard it from Camini himself. At the start of this race, the two beautifully painted Leopard cars will try to defend their position at the start, get as wide as they possibly can. Camini will come alongside Vernet on the outside, is my prediction, or take the inside. And as we go into Lisboa, Camini will say, thank you very much, and Vernet will hold the fort.
I'll be off, yeah. And
that's the plan.
Up the hill.
Now, everybody else knows that plan too. And so Honda and Seat, and Pepe especially, will be trying to change that plan, and their idea will be to get an almighty start and get at least alongside to challenge one of those cars to change the order, because once those VWs start working together, and we've seen this with BMW, with Chevrolet, and with several other manufacturers over the years in this gear race, that if you're in a position to work together in tandem, it's a lot easier.
Certainly is, yeah. And we're about to see for the first time how it's going to play out in this qualification race, because now we've got the chance to get drivers into cars and cars onto the grid.
Yes, because after all, we do love these beautiful cars, but they're much more fun when they're going at speed. Now, and if you're slightly unsighted when we're watching, keep a lookout for the mirrors, because we've got the French flag on the two Volkswagen mirrors, and of course the Swiss flag on Camini, so you can tell the difference. And of course look to the front windscreen or back windscreen, whichever the shot gives you, to look for the number. There is the leader of the championship, James Nash. Oriola following him out in a 74. Dust and dirt from previous crashes. And on this sighting lap, for a professional driver, this is the key.
Really important now. They've got a dry track to deal with, quite the opposite to how they qualified yesterday.
No kidding.
For the final shootout for the 12 cars. So an all dry track, however, a track that is so different. We had the rain. Danny Watts was telling us how much of the rubber that had been laid down thus far over the 3 days that we'd had by the end of yesterday afternoon had been washed away. So they had work to do again to get all the corners back to the way they've been pre-rain. We've also got debris, little bits. The majority of the debris has been swept away by the marshals, so effectively, but there are probably little bits and pieces here and there, bits of rubber, bits of broken bodywork, tiny little fragments that would make things a little bit different. So this sighting lap, so important to get a good view right the way around the track. See the leaves blowing across the track there. Danny was saying that makes that has an effect on the corner as well. So Jean-Carl Vernet, who seemed very focused, I thought, when he spoke to Mark James.
He's got an important job. They can win this championship. It's far from over. It's far from over. So it's a very important job he's got to play, and I really look forward to how he plays that role, because like I said, I do believe my prediction, that's the plan. And like I said, I'm not trying to be clever when I say this is what's going to happen, but I know that that would be the perfect scenario for VW, which would be for Vernet to basically defend and lead both of them into that first corner at Lisboa. And like he says, he'll relax a little bit when he gets through Lisboa. I mean, the good news is he doesn't have to do it in the first corner. If the pair of them get through Lisboa together, then they can literally make a plan from there on in and dictate the pace of the race, which is important. And we heard just then, Honda in a straight line could be the quicker of the cars out there in the dry. So therefore, these two in the Volkswagens will therefore want to use the mounted section, maybe in the first couple of laps even, to get ahead as far as they can, avoid the slipstream, because that's one of the major roles here, is if you get close enough to a car, you could get in the draft, slingshot out, get the tow, and effectively get yourself a much quicker lap and hopefully a new position.
Just looking at Thiago Monteiro there, and it will mean an awful lot to him to go well.
And into the pits comes one of the leopards. That is Varney, but he's allowed to do that, of course. Just not going to the grid just yet. On board with James Nash. It's going to be interesting to see his position, and I love this low down view, because you really get to see the bumps at speed. Interesting to see that shot as we go through the main straight here.
I was really pleased to see James Nash when he did his interview with Mark James down there on the pit lane. Smiley.
Yes.
Very professional. He didn't hear the question, but we still got an answer.
Well, he didn't hear the question, but he answered it brilliantly.
It was absolutely superb.
But I don't suppose there's not many trick questions in motor racing.
Independent champion.
How are you feeling?
In 2011, independent champion in the BTCC, where he started his touring car career at top level. Moved on to World Touring Cars, took the independent title in 2013 in World Touring Cars, and now looks to add another title this weekend.
Kajaya also doing a zip through the pit lane. Why would you do that? Why would you do that extra lap?
There might be something about the car that maybe he wants to check once again. Maybe it did something wasn't quite sure about on a particular area.
Well, plus there's another reason, I suppose. You do get a lap free, effectively, and you do get to see the track without anybody in front or behind.
You do.
That's another reason, perhaps. Everybody else, though, forming on the grid. And there you see the two cars that did go through the pit lane. And, one of them, the Liqui Moly man. Kajaya, David Kajaya of Georgia. Yep, just winding his way around and maybe having, like you say, a little bit more time to have a think about it and
well, it's
work out his strategy. And again, take a closer look at this track, because every advantage you can take, every nuance you can work out is to your advantage.
It is also the opportunity to get a little bit more heat into the tyres. We talk about tyres cooling down. They don't lose all of the heat. It takes a long time to lose all of the heat. Okay, they come off a little bit. They start to drop off, but 2 laps is better than 1 to get heat, to get the rubber up to temperature.
And also the debris off the tyres as well. You pick up a lot of...
That's true.
Going slowly, you do pick up a lot of stuff. So
last opportunity to do that now.
Everybody else, only 2 cars choosing to do this extra lap, as the scene that we're looking at from our commentary position is of, well, not chaos, but organised chaos. There's a lot of people down on the grid, which is a good thing. But last-minute changes or last-minute conversations between the teams.
Always a busy and colourful scene, isn't it, down on the grid? Look at that. Absolutely fantastic scenes down here in front of the commentary box, as that final sighting lap is nearing its conclusion, up towards this huge challenge at the Melco hairpin. And the reward, well, the circuit opens out, and so too does the engine.
And here is J.K. Varney, and Jean-Carl has been racing quite a lot in Asia, actually, over the last few years. And whatever he's in, he's impressive.
Threads his way through a very busy grid. Plenty of people down there, cars as well. Marshals use whistles down here to attract attention more than any other circuit in the world. When you go down into pit lane, if a car comes into the pit lane, it's an orchestra of whistles to make sure that safety is of paramount importance. Everyone knows, you can hear the whistles in the background now. That's the marshals and officials saying, car about to thread its way through.
Yeah, I mentioned that Jean-Carl Vanet raced a lot in Asia, and yeah, in 2014, in fact, he did a full season of Japan Super GT and GT Asia, where he was driving for Bentley. And also last year doing the Blancpain Series. And Cello Lotti, and who is the organizer and big man on campus, so to speak. He's been a big factor and organizer of World Touring Cars and now TCR, and yeah, a colourful character from Italy. So last couple of photos, last minute, and the green flag 10:42 local time, so that will be of interest to our international broadcasters tuning in. And for those of you watching around the world, we will be starting in 8 minutes time.
So the countdown for the drivers, significant. They've had to remain focused, ready to go for this all-important qualification race, and then just a brief gap before they get the big Macau gear race underway.
Yeah, this is going to be a long day for these boys.
It is, and they've been waiting a while for it. 4-day race meetings, well, just adds to the build-up, doesn't it? Final bit of fluid on board. It's worth pointing out that it is, you mentioned it a couple of times, the humidity here. They will lose a lot of fluid during these races. Closed car, tin-top car, they do get very, very hot inside these touring cars. So as much water on board, fluid on board before they start, very important part of it.
Jean-Carl Vanet, who we just saw there out of the car, came on the podium, second place in 2009's Formula 3 race here at Macau. So that's when he was talking about his knowledge of the circuit. Since a while, 2009, but still, he was definitely a factor throughout that weekend. I remember it, and the race itself won by Edo Mortara, but they went at each other throughout most of the weekend in 2009. So Jean-Carl knows this place all too well. Thiago Monteiro knows it well as well. I've raced here several times as well. And like I said, in different cars. And he too, not won here and wants to badly. But his role really is as a guest for Honda to see if he can help them and help Morbidelli, more importantly. But the championship is really between Nash and Camini.
It was good to see Thiago with the support of Antonio Felix da Costa, fellow countryman, who's already won a race so far this weekend here at Macau. He won the qualification race for Formula 3 cars yesterday. Be nice to have a great weekend here in Macau for the Portuguese.
Antiburi of Finland was, not surprisingly, very quick in the wet, as all Finns are. When it gets slippery.
Do we really need to ask the question if he was another driver to use a handbrake around the Melco hairpin?
I'm sure he would have done, had he given the chance. But yes, it was also interesting to note that Camini picked up 4 points for that second place on the grid yesterday. And that therefore narrows the gap in the championship once again. It was 17, it's now even less, I think 13.
Serbia! Serbia!
Serbia! That's who he's shouting for, his country of origin, and that's who he's racing for. Fans enjoying it, getting to see themselves on the big screen. And a quite substantial delay here, as we saw in Formula 3. But now, finally, straps are being tightened, and we, hopefully, are going to be racing very soon.
Yep, they know they're in for a treat today. Touring car racing, GT racing, and single-seater racing all in one day. Portuguese flags up there.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Now, this ex-Portuguese enclave, still got a lot of Portuguese living here, of course, and also coming on holiday here. It's a great destination for the Portuguese. Direct flights to Lisbon from the Macau International Airport. As we look at the Lukoil man that is James Nash. As you say, yeah, great interview. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know him that well, but
he is really
just
nice
in
guy.
the brief time I've spent, he seems like the sort of guy who deserves to be right at the top of his game.
Extremely polite
Yeah.
young man. Very polite. Very quick. Double independent champion, of course, BTCC and WTCC.
Yeah, how do you compare? You do a lot of the touring cars in Great Britain. How do you compare what you see here now with the evolution? Because it has been an evolution worldwide, touring cars over the years. The BTCC is still very strong, but how do you compare?
I see boom time. I see boom time for touring cars. The BTCC started the year with a capacity grid. We couldn't get any more cars on the grid. And this, only its second year. This is only the second year of the series that we're seeing. And look how many cars have been attracted to this series in the second year. It's incredible. This is one of those real crests in world touring car racing.
All right, thumbs up. We are clearing the grid as Matteo Homola gets ready to go racing. He was quick in some of the practices, but didn't actually end up where he wanted to be after the two practices. In the end, ending up in 9th position, which isn't bad, but he had been in the top 3 at one point.
So the personnel asked to leave the grid, and I'm sure that the drivers are breathing a sigh of relief. It's quite a moment when all of a sudden you're going to be left on your own in the car, no people around, no one to interview you.
Quite a relief.
No one to talk to. It is a relief because they can get on with the job that they're here to do. That's a great shot, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be too, from Nash's point of view. 7th on the grid. Looking forward to that shot. And also, watch out for Pepe Oriola because, like you said, unfettered, no pressure. But with work to do at the start.
Yeah, surprise down there.
Going to definitely put ourselves on the Craft Bamboo watch.
10th on the grid. It just didn't go according to plan in that final 15 minutes, did it? In atrocious conditions out on circuit. But Pepe Oriola is superb around Macau.
Well, they have got a step to it, haven't they? Both Pepe and James. They need to get past Borkovic and Morbidelli, no mean feat, and then go and hunt down Montiero and Antiburi. But that's easily said than done. Easier said than done. Josh Files in the number 50.
Already a winner this year, TCR Germany. Former Renault UK Clio Cup champion. Very quick driver, and again, very nice guy as well.
Yeah, and in fact, James Nash, who leads the championship, won in Portugal and Thailand. That was the only 2 race wins he actually had, but he's been consistent throughout.
Consistent point scoring, that's the thing. And James Nash did that in the when he won the BTCC independent title. It was consistency throughout the season.
That's key, isn't it?
He does it supremely well. So, as everybody trails in one train of people into the paddock. The drivers left on their own to get ready for the first of 2 races.
Here's the grid then. Jean-Carl Vernet and Stefano Comini in the Volkswagens on the front row, locking that out. Row 2 sees Tiago Monteiro and Antti of Finland in the Seat Leon, Honda and Seat, 3rd and 4th. Then it's Dusan Borkovic and Gianni Morbidelli, Seat and Honda yet again. And then we see James Nash, alongside him, Sergei Afanasyev of Russia in 8th position. And then Mate Homola and Pepe Oriola starting 10th position, 2 Seats together, 9th and 10th. That's row 5, long way from there. Josh Files of Britain, Tassi of Hungary in 12th position. And it's been a good showing by the Hondas and the Seats in the wet. Andy Yan, the first major Asian driver and the winner of the TCR Asia Series from Hong Kong. Great result for him, both in qualifying and over this year. Hats off to him. Sonny Wong, Alex Hui of France. Zhang Tengyi of China in 17th position in an Audi A3. And they've been given some good dispensation, have the China touring cars, in terms of weight. A lot of weight taken off those cars. Tin Shitai starts in 20th position. He too has been roaring round Asia this year, racing in TCR Asia, but also in the international races as well, getting a top 10 before now. So watch out for him. Wei Chao Yin of China in the VW. Kevin C of Macau. Not too many Macau entries, but Kevin is one of them. And Grachev, trouble all for him down at 25th position. Likewise, Balecki, 28th, not where he should be. Finally then, here we go.
Nice to hear the engines all together for the first time as they all fire up, and this must be quite a relief for the drivers. The waiting is over.
I've got a job that I think you'll enjoy. I want you to watch this man and Pepe Oriola from the start.
I'm on Nash watch.
Nash watch.
Okay,
that's easy for you to say.
I can do that.
But well, I think it is going to be important. I mean, we'll see it for ourselves. But how they get off the line and how they start is key. That's, to me, these are the stories, if you will, of this race. What can Nash and Pepe Oriola do off the line? How well can VW on the front row defend their position? How quickly can Comini get into the lead and start to try and gain some points? It's a full flat-out race to decide the grid for race 2, so this is a qualification race, so to speak. And so you understand that. All that means is wherever you finish, you start race 2. And this corner will be key. And of the other stories, there are those like Tiago Monteiro, who just really want to come to Macau and win. On board, and what a wonderful shot that is.
I've never seen a shot like it.
No, it's brilliant. And that is Stefano Comini. But we'll see how his hands work, and I'll tell you what, they've chosen the perfect person because they know that he works furiously during a race, and of course he's just warming up right now. But I will enjoy watching that shot as it comes through. Any surprises down the grid? As there's a surprise, well, not that much of a surprise. Franz Ensler, good to see him here, a 2-time Asia Touring Car Champion with the Liqui Moly team and still representing Ensler Motorsport and still sponsored by Liqui Moly, the German oil maker.
That's been a good partnership.
It has.
Yeah,
it certainly has been in Asia. They're a German manufacturer, German product. But boy, have they made an impact here in Asia over the years. Tiago Monteiro. That too will be an interesting shot. I noticed they keep their visors up for the touring car race, and makes sense because don't need it. And to be honest, I think it would be distracting.
Yeah, you'd probably get a misted visor as
yeah,
well.
It's so hot.
In these humidity conditions, really humid, incredibly humid.
And there's Rob Huff, a man who has won this race probably more times than anyone. In fact, I think that is true.
Yeah.
And it's great to see him back here.
Claimed his world title here at Macau as well.
Yes, he did. I remember the emotions of his father and the team when he did so. Rob Huff, a true champion of Macau. And just like Duncan Huysman and Ivan Muller, Joachim Winkelhock, Hans Stuck even, and of course Andy Prio over the years.
How many world titles did he claim here at Macau?
3. And
Just
the
a
European
master.
title
Just
to
a
boot.
master.
Rob Huff first started winning here back in 2009, and we're still winning in 2011. Took one second race win in 2013, so, and 14, I may add. So Rob Huff, yeah, Mr. Macau in his own right. So finally, we're going to go racing. Yes, I think the expression says
they're
it
all
all.
relieved, yeah.
Everybody wants to get on with this. So they come to the grid now for the first of 2 races here in the gear race, the famous gear race, which has been held here since 1972 when John McDonald, a man who's raced here on 2 and 4 wheels, won the first ever gear race. So, as you can see, the grid is formed finally. Can the VWs get the start they want? We're about to find out. And Grachev comes into the pits in the number 8. He's not had a good weekend, and I think it's going to continue that way.
But they have ahead of them what we might call proper drivers, so they can overtake. They'll be allowed to do so without much more driving on the part of their
Calm before the storm. The green flag waves at the back. On come the lights. Out they go, away we go. Not a great start from Vernet at all. Good start from the 3rd place man. But now VW up against it to defend. Comedy gets away well.
And a brilliant start by James Nash. Well off the line.
Okay, go. I'm glad I put you on the watch, but now we've already had our first crash. 1, 2 cars at least involved. And what will happen at the first corner? Good start from Comedy, but another crash. A Seat going wide at Mandarin and going out, but it's still Comedy who leads. Just Nash with a brilliant start is up to 4th place. Great reaction by Varnet as he goes round the outside to grab 2nd for a moment anyway. Has he made it? Yes, and in fact, look at that. That's exactly the tactics. And he could get penalised for that because Thiago Monteiro wanted a piece of the action. And Varnet and Comedy doing the business there, and Comedy leads, and Varnet, and as predicted, they pulled it off.
Nash got off the start absolutely supremely, and look what he's doing now. He's there in 4th place. That was exactly what he needed to do. Qualified 7th, up into 4th, and they haven't completed 1 lap. Superb.
Comedy off to the races, as you can see. This mountain section key, especially in this first lap. He wants to break it here and now. And as you can see, the chasing tail behind is all bunched up together. And this has been the perfect start for the 2 VWs, because at the moment Montero is in the Honda holding them up in the mountain section because the Seats want pass and they can't do it. Look. Oh no, another crash. You know what? I think this is all going to come to naught because we're going to have a safety car.
We are going to have a safety car.
We are,
sure
that doesn't move.
We've got cars in a few places, haven't we? Thiago Monteiro continues. We'll identify which car that was that's gone off on the mountain section.
So Thiago Monteiro with the start that he wanted in 3rd place, chasing the 2 Leopard VWs around this circuit out of Melco for the first time. Cominelli leads this race. Man who won here last year, loves racing here more than anywhere else in the world. So they come out of Fisherman's, and here is the safety car. No surprise.
3 incidents on that opening lap, weren't there? So Marshall's busy around the circuit now.
Yeah, and one rather large one right at the start on that first corner, and we're going to have to repair that fence again if we're not careful.
So they thread their way around behind the Maserati, but the first job is complete, and that was the start. Good start by Kamini. Good start by Nash as well.
You know, I forgot Rob Huff won here as well last year. He came as a guest, remember?
Did, yeah. Not in the Sunday.
He won the first race,
yeah,
and Kamini won the second, and that's right. That's what won him the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob was involved in a big accident, wasn't he, in the second race?
Because of course he's a World Touring Car regular. Here we go. Now, is there assistance needed for the number 88? One of the cars stuck out there. So coming into the pits is car number 77. That's the Craft Bamboo car of Sergei Afanasiev, the Russian. And definite problems. Is it more turbo problems? Here's the start again. Great start from Monteiro. He really did get away well, didn't he? And it's red flagged at the moment, this race. So I think we've got a medical situation, because there's no reason why they would do that unless they really needed to get something on track quickly. So good reactions from the scrutiny, from the stewards on that. As we take a look at what happened in the first accident. Here they file through the Mandarin. And here's somebody banging hard into the wall. I'm trying to work out which of the Seats that is, because it's certainly one of the lead group. Just wondering if it's Anti-Burry in the 48. Either way, they're pulling him out of the way, and red flag then. And now, team manager's getting instructions. It's actually car number 10 from West Coast Racing. It's Gianni Morbidelli. Of all people, you wouldn't expect to hit the Mandarin wall. Gianni is that man, and he did say it's unpredictable. And
he did, yeah.
Sadly, he has been part of that unpredictability.
One of the casualties of the qualification race, and quite a lot of fluid down on circuit as well.
So it wasn't a Seat. It was, in fact, Gianni Morbidelli's West Coast Racing Honda Civic. And yes, that's why we got a glimpse there of the team working out how and what they're going to do. Here's another one of the incidents. Oh, and into the air for the moment. And hitting the barriers very hard indeed. That's the, I want to say the 68, I think, of Tang Chi Lun. And that is the stoppage reason for the red flag, because they have to, it may not be a medical, it may be just that they need to get the truck out there because it's in a place where there is no crane, and obviously they have to get, therefore, a flatbed truck to take that car away if it can't be taken away under its own power. Now, what's going on here? Certainly a lot of work going on with the Luke Oil boys. They've had some problems. And Morbidelli is cleared away. And it was a big hit, but not as big as some I've seen. But, yeah, not the way to start your day. Concerned looks, quite rightly.
It's Paul Ridgway.
Yeah, Paul Ridgway's been around this event many years.
Huge amount of experience Paul has got in racing around the world. So plenty of marshals are dealing with a couple of incidents around the circuit after that first attempt to get the qualification race underway for the Macau gear race, and red flag.
So everybody will file back and we'll hopefully go racing. And look at that, talking of the gear race, one of the magicians of the gear race Emanuele Pirro. And I'd have to say, if ever I got googly-eyed about watching touring cars, because when I first started watching touring cars, I didn't know much about it until I saw that man, Emanuele Pirro, the Italian ex-Formula One driver. And as you can see, the driver is out of the car and he has taken some medical assistance. The doctors are there and he is taking a little bit of oxygen.
I think I overheard a conversation down there on the pit wall. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. Maybe Mark James is going to be able to confirm this for me. But a restart under safety car.
Yeah.
So that's the confirmation down there on pit wall. Another look.
3 cars involved in that first incident. Amazingly, not too badly damaged.
Yeah, and that all looked reasonably light, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just looking down the history books, and Emanuele Pirro, winner in 91 and 92 in a BMW.
So that was another look back at the first incident. Everybody else at the front jostling for position, and then Morbidelli into the wall. So 3 separate incidents.
Let's hear from Leopard, Claudio Barro, the chief principal of Leopard Racing. He's with Mark.
Claudio, how relieved were you to see your 2 cars 1 and 2 at the end of that first lap?
Fortunately, it's okay. Why it was in our plan, but it's not sure to achieve this. But we expect a safety car at the first lap happen, and then more happened one red flag also. Now we have to restart. The race is so long. And the position is good.
So you are fairly relaxed?
No, relaxed never. Until the second race.
We'll catch up with you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing relaxed about it. Yes, he doesn't look relaxed, does he?
Looks anxious to get things underway. They had that delay before they could start their race, their qualification race. And now, without 1 full racing lap complete, we've got this red flag situation.
More repairs being done. And everybody filing into the pits after this red flag situation.
Now the window for the gear race, as we go on board with James Nash, he can be very proud. That will do good things for the confidence, actually, having got such a good start. He knew what he had to do, and he did it supremely well to get from 7th on the grid up to 4th place. Very impressive. Looks pretty relaxed there in the car, doesn't it? Good for the confidence, that.
Yeah, it does no harm, does it?
No. And a restart behind the safety car. Good place to start behind the safety car in 4th place.
Yes, actually, very good point.
Much better than 7th. Really made the most of the standing start, which is what he needed to do. So he looked confident, and he's got every right to do that.
Good start from Tin Sritrai as well. Andy Yan up into 11th place at the start. Grachev didn't make it around the full lap. And once again, drivers are out of the cars. I'm not sure what the longest gear race in history is, but this could be it.
I was going to say the scheduled window is 2 hours, so the window is.
We're at hour 1 now.
Yeah,
and we haven't gone racing yet.
And well, we've had a few corners, but not a race, and both races were scheduled to be completed by 12 o'clock midday, and then the GT race, the World Cup, and then the Macau Grand Prix. Another look.
Yeah, you'll see first incident here, and nasty. 3 cars spinning out, and a classic kind of Macau situation. And I'm just trying to see of those that didn't get round. Zhang Yaoqi was one of them. Sunny Wong was another involved in that. And as you can see, the situation down in the pits now as we wait, and they wait. Let's get some more interviews then, and let's hear from Pepe Oriola, who obviously has been in the thick of it. He's with Mark.
Pepe, yet more incidents here in Macau. Were you happy with that start?
Yeah, I had a perfect start, but I had to avoid my teammate Sergey, so I missed everything I did in the start, so I had to fight side to side with Josh Files, but anyways, I won 3 positions, so for the first step in Macau it's good, 3 positions. Now it's going to do a restart. I'm already with guys in front. I know I'm faster and try to arrive to James, and well, I'm in a good place to try to go to my goal, which is to be on the final podium of the day.
And you're still here. You stayed out of trouble. That's the other important thing.
Yeah, like I didn't even know what happened with Morbidelli. I just saw him going straight to the wall. And this is Macau, you know. I tried to take some risks over there, but then I saw, okay, it's too much, and I know things gonna happen. So I'm just gonna try to stay on track, try to overtake these guys on track. I have a setup right for this. So I will try to do my best and to help James, because as they didn't have any incident now, it's quite important that I help my teammate.
Good luck.
So Pepe Oriola just telling us how it is, and I think he's getting frustrated, as are all the drivers at this point. And finally, it looks as though we're getting most of the damage off the track. I don't think it's over yet, this.
10 minutes I'm hearing down in pit lane. Announcement just been made to all teams and drivers down in pit lane. 10 minutes.
So the Honda gets cleared away. It's a long way around this 6.1 kilometer circuit.
It's a badly bashed car.
Let's hear from Dusan Barkovic. He is down in the pits with our very own Mark James.
Dusan, you find yourself right in the middle of the battles.
No, now this is a really bad situation for me, because I had a lousy start, and Nash overtook me in the first corner, and then the Morbidelli also overtook me, but he was too confident in the Mandarin, and he crashed. But then I'm behind the Nash now, and he was in that second sector, quite slower. I wanted to attack him, but you know, now if I attack him, or you know me that I know how to attack, and I want to attack. My heart is telling me attack, but maybe I will have some crash and problem with him, and I don't want to be the guy who is directly involved in the championship battle. But I don't know now what to do now. Now I'm in a really tricky situation. Maybe I will push. I will see how the situation is. It's really difficult to go. He's slower in the second sector. I don't see between the walls anything. I can crash. I already touched the wall. I think that I destroyed a little bit the toe on the car. So I don't know. We'll see.
But not only do you have Nash in front of you, you have Oriola behind. You will need to watch your mirror.
Yeah, I know that's dangerous. I am not afraid of anybody. That's true. But he will attack for sure the Mato. I don't know what to do with Nash. He's a good defender, but he couldn't follow the leaders. He was a bit slower. Maybe he was confident in the first lap. Maybe he will push a little bit later. We'll see.
Okay, thanks. See you later.
Thank you.
Yes, a rather frustrated Dusan, because he really doesn't know what to do, because obviously his nature says attack, attack, attack. But you can see the frustration as he puffs out there. 7th at the moment in the series.
The best, you know.
That was a fascinating insight as well,
yeah,
to hear that he thought James Nash struggling for speed in the mountain section, and that he was much quicker. But also super to hear that he didn't want to in any way take part in the resolution of a championship title. So that's very sporting. Good to hear. Antonio Felix da Costa talking to Tiago Monteiro down in pit lane. They don't come a lot cooler than those two.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty laid back, isn't he, Antonio?
Well, the both of them together. Another chance to have a look. And yeah, just loose coming into the corner.
They did a good job actually of avoiding each other, to be fair.
Only a little gentle nudge now. So, yep, they did do a jolly good job.
And here's Morbidelli. Well, actually, no, that's the
another
same
view.
incident, but
Yeah.
From another angle.
That's another view.
And it looks as though Mark's been beavering away and getting some more interviews. He's doing a great job down there. As we look down on the scene here, let's hear from Afanasyev, who looks as though he had a few problems as well. He's with Mark.
Sergei, the guys are working on your car behind us. What's happening?
Actually, everything is okay. It's a working moment in this gambling race. And anyway, what to say? Everything happened on the start. There was one guy in front of me slowing down, so I had to slow down as well. Then was something happening as well in Mandarin, and I had a small accident with Krajaya. Just very tight, very small accident, touching him a little bit, and then I started to roll straight. I decided to come in immediately, even while seeing the red flag, because I was expecting some problems with temperature and something. And what else to say? We have 5 minutes to do it. We never give up, and we will push hard again and again.
How frustrating is it that you're now not in a position to help either of your teammates?
Are you sure I'm not?
You tell me.
I will. I will definitely push hard, and if it rains, I'll be there.
Good luck.
See ya.
So, fighting talk. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. And the possibility of rain.
Attention in pit lane.
An interesting thought.
Attention in pit lane. Macau gear cars. Race will resume in 5 minutes.
So, we are going to go racing again in 5 minutes' time. Antonio Felix da Costa waving to the fans who've spotted him in the middle of the paddock, in the middle of the pit lane. They love him. And he's like saying, hey, cheer on my man Monteiro. You see, look at those Portuguese fans who were out there waving the flags. I saw them earlier today.
Yeah, maybe you spotted a flag up there in the grandstand. That's what I want to believe. Very proud. Portuguese is Antonio and Tiago as well. So 5 minutes to go before we get this qualification race underway. Chance to get drivers back into balaclavas. Chance to sign an autograph as well. Jean Carvenet doing the honours there. Balaclava on, helmet about to go on as well. And for the second time of asking, we'll get this qualification race underway. Chance to catch up with Richard Coleman, the team principal of Craft Bamboo, with Mark James.
Richard, you're looking remarkably relaxed, if you don't mind me saying so.
Well, there's not too much that I can do from here, really. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, at the moment, if the race finishes the way it is, I think the guys will be equal on points with Nash and Kamini. To be honest, once we qualified, we're really on the back foot. So we're kind of outsiders and we know it, but we'll do whatever we can to take our chances.
Can you do anything after the restart, do you think?
Possibly. I think really we need Monteiro to get in the mix of this race. I think if Monteiro gets up there, then maybe there's something we can do. But I think with James carrying 30 kilos, it's very difficult for us to go forward. So we need something to happen.
I'll come and have a chat to you during race 2, I suspect.
Well, let's hope for a good course.
Richard Coleman, team principal of Craft Bamboo, down there with Mark James. And that is James Nash getting himself ready for the race. Richard making the point, 30 kilos on board. That tells the answer to the reason why in the middle section, the long middle section, James struggling for speed up there as they mount the hill. but certainly the bits that he can do with those 30 kilos on board so far, he's doing to very good effect. The first of which was getting off the line. Very quick off the line was James Nash. He's got himself up into 4th position, and Richard Coleman saying there he wants Thiago Monteiro ahead to get involved in this battle with the VWs.
Well, he did before, didn't he?
He did, and he will. And there he is.
He's the perfect guy to bring, actually. He's motivated, he's quick, he knows the circuit, and yeah, they've made a very wise choice to bring him into the fray.
And Thiago Monteiro, 3rd place, about to receive word to get out onto track and restart this qualification race behind the safety car. So VW, Honda.
That's no guarantee.
And Seat, it is no guarantee. We've been a while trying to get this race underway. First delay through no fault of theirs. Barrier trouble following the first support race of the day. The support race for the local CTM Macau Touring Car Cup. Thinking back to that, it feels like a long time since we had the podium. It is quite a long time since we had the podium, but we saw a very, very happy 3 drivers on the podium, getting the congratulations of Rob Huff, who has now turned his attentions to this qualification race.
Yes, and we've had a race suspension. If you've just joined us, this is race 1 of 2 for the gear race. Long delay. We had fence repairs, then a big crash, several crashes in fact at the start of the race, and we still have yet to get more than 2 laps in, and it looks as though we'll start, and it will be a start under the safety car.
Car 28, drive-through penalty. Kevin Say.
I wonder whether they're judging him to have caused maybe the incident.
Well, certainly a penalty has been administered.
And that's significant because he's still trying to achieve the runner-up spot in TCR Asia, so that's not helped his hopes.
Kevin Say, a drive-through penalty. You may well say he's seen enough of the pit lane during this delay. He's got to come in again.
Yes. Well, certainly Maserati have had their time on screen for sure.
Yeah, and
they've led more laps than anybody.
You're absolutely right to say that, and hopefully it had a full tank of fuel at the start of today, because it's been deployed a fair bit already, and we've only had 1 full race and 1 race start so far today. But it does give us a chance to enjoy the splendour of the Maserati. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Now again, let's just go back over that race start, because it was an interesting one. Varney did not get the start he wanted. He made an amazing bold manoeuvre around the outside to challenge Monteiro. Monteiro came back at him as they went towards San Francisco, and he muscled his way in. He literally pushed Monteiro out the way to allow Comini to go through.
Speaking of which,
there is Comini.
This unique camera angle. Do not adjust your sets. It's meant to look like that. It's a great view.
Zach Grachev still waiting to get out.
Really working the car from side to side.
Well, we've got him covered every angle, haven't we? This is Jean-Carl Venet. The size of that mirror. You need it though at Macau.
Doesn't take long to dispense with wing mirrors, so a big interior mirror is a very useful instrument. Now there's a corner. Marshall Post 16.
It's been the most important corner of the weekend, I would have argued. More accidents and incidents there than anywhere.
The right-hander at police leads immediately into Moorish, and then down through the long sweeping left-hander at Donna Maria.
WRT team. And nervous moments for these guys as they get ready for the start, the resumption.
We're hearing a lot of conversations inter-team down in pit lane so far, aren't we?
Yeah, it's good. So the Maserati brings them round the Macau hairpin. There's Monteiro.
He's been brilliant this weekend so far. Thiago Monteiro had one problem. It was with turbo pipes on the car, day 2. Other than that, extremely quick this weekend.
So here it is. Camini now has control of this race. He accelerates away. The Maserati comes down the final straight. The lights are off. And Camini is in control of this race. In fact, he's off. He's off and running. Look at Camini go. And that is just, well, I've not seen a start that bad by the rest of the field, but to be honest, Varney wasn't really holding them back, but certainly that has given a massive advantage to Stefano Camini as we are away and racing here in race 1. The green flags wave, and the Swiss driver who won race 2 and another crash, car 20, Liu, is out. That's Honky Liu of Macau. Still green flags wave. Everybody through, the leaders anyway, the Mandarin corner.
And I've been on Nash watch, and he's missed out, hasn't he? He's lost out.
This time he has, yeah. Well done, no! Oh! Mayhem at Macau. Once again, Tin Street Try and the rest of the field are going nowhere, and we are stopping this one. Folks, we've got 5 minutes of this race done. Tin Street Try trying to get through. And he's going to do it, you know, watch this.
There is space.
He's going to do it.
We've seen one be
Meanwhile,
able to thread their way
back at the
through.
ranch.
Yeah.
Stefano Camini leads this race with Jean-Carl Vanet, his teammate, right behind him.
Leads by about half a lap.
And that was an amazing restart. They really didn't...
Oh no, James Nash!
No! Well, now, we've waited long enough, but the drama has come at Macau because the championship leader is out of the Macau Grand Prix. James Nash has broken the rear axle of that Seat Leon, and he's on his own in a very, very sad situation. Poor old James. He was inches away from taking the title here for the final races here at Macau, and it's all come to naught because there's no real recovery from that. Here is what happened. He hits the curb on the inside, bounces another car out, and then slides the rear into the tires, and that's all it took. So while everybody else behind him was stopping, the rear suspension was giving way.
A nudge on one side, a nudge on the other, and that's enough to...
He'll nurse it home, but that's unrepairable.
It's coming to a stop. It's coming to a stop.
And so are we.
Oh dear, oh dear. James, keep going.
He's going to try and nurse it home.
Keep going.
Yeah, not good news, is it? He's got 3 wheels, and we are stopped. Tin Street Try did make it through, and so is everybody else. Now that is how brilliant Macau can be. Look how quickly they did that. And just leaving one driver on his own, poor lad.
Just drop it off, there we go. And all of a sudden the circuit is open once again. Drama, drama, drama. Goodness me, James Nash. The car limping. The Seat Leon.
Well, as one famous British commentator for darts once said, you can have Shakespeare, but this is real drama.
Well, it really is.
Sid Waddell.
And not...
may he rest in peace.
And not good drama here. This is dream-breaking for James Nash. Limping the car back. stricken on the left rear.
That's a real shame because it's changed everything.
Oh, this is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
I tell you what, those blue targets have just become bigger because now the gloves are off. Because there's nobody trying to... It's all about trying to stop Kamini now, at least for the rest of the field. Kamini now has to be ever so careful.
In a very commanding position is Stefano Kamini, as we've almost got 2 pace cars, haven't we? Because that's the queue behind James Nash. We've only got 6 cars behind the Maserati safety car.
Everybody's trying to catch up as quickly as they can.
And they can't because of James Nash. So he effectively is leading the rest of the field around, and then we've got the collection of cars that have finally managed to get through.
Yeah, it's a weird one, that, because they actually, I suppose, officially can't overtake him.
They can't pass him. They can't pass him. Safety car rules, no overtaking. So,
which is ironic.
Yeah.
Because they all know he's not going anywhere.
We've essentially got 2 safety cars at the moment.
How bizarre. Now, they're going to try and fix him.
Richard Coleman, team principal.
By the way, never say never. There's 2 races.
No.
And there's certainly time. And the way things are going, they might have all day to fix that car.
It's just another hill to climb, isn't it, for the team?
Talking of which,
the rest of the field make their way through. Now the circuit is open, but what a demanding day this is for the nerves, for the emotions as well.
Well, remember, they've been in the paddock since 9:30 this morning. It's now approaching 11:30. And it's a long time for these guys to be in these cars.
It really is. So, last lap ball being held out for the qualification race.
Which is, again, ironic, but there you go. Not a lot of racing from race 1. Let's hope it's better in race 2. But circumstances as they are, this is the magic of Macau. It's a lottery, and you just never know who would have predicted Morbidelli going out. Who would have predicted a massive smash in the first corner?
Well, hang on. James Nash is in 9th position. They're behind the safety car.
He just needs to finish the race.
Don't come into the pit lane.
Well, how the heck's he going to get round?
He's still on track. He's still going.
Yes.
So to cross the line with no one passing him, he'll be in 9th place.
If we finish under safety?
If we finish under safety car.
Well, that's answered that question.
That's not going to happen.
It's a good call, though. And he slams the door shut. A great idea of yours.
Didn't work, did it?
No. I like your style.
I was trying to help.
No, I know. It's all good. Meanwhile, Tassi comes in as well. And the Maserati is headed to yet another lap lead.
So, the drama continues, and not necessarily with a huge amount of racing. Stefano Kamini behind the Maserati safety car. Jean-Carl Venet behind him. 2 VWs. I tell you what, these VWs, the Golfs make great touring cars.
Don't they?
VWs make great world rally cars as well.
Yeah, they do.
So, very, very impressive looking cars, these. They do look good.
So then, we head down the hill, under yellow and under safety. And according to my calculations, Kamini has pretty much wrapped up this championship. I suppose there's an outside chance of one of the others, Pepe or whatever, but I think it's almost beyond doubt now that Nash is out, because it really was a two-way race. And away goes Kamini. Green flags to get us underway again. Vernet in second place, Montiero trying to challenge in third. And there is the checkered flag, so it is Camini, even though he took off.
So now the screen updates itself and they tip the checkered flag.
And yet they're racing hard. It's, bear with us, folks.
Certainly down here on the timing screen, no doubt about it at all, we've had the checkered flag.
But the guys are still racing.
I'm not sure anyone's told them.
Well,
they haven't seen the checkered flag. It's physically they've not seen the checkered flag.
So, Camini looks to me ever likely to be winning this championship. Jean-Carl Vernet in second place, doing a good job of holding off the rest of the field as they pile through and literally pile up behind him. The checkered flag has been waved, but we think a little too soon.
Well, we were getting the, on the graphic, we were saying it was the last lap.
And we were going to finish under safety.
And we were going to finish under safety car. The safety car peeled off. They are racing.
And they took off.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It's not just us.
And much discussion down in pit lane.
Right, I'm glad that we're not on our own
It's
here.
not just us.
Yeah. I'm starting to get paranoid.
No, don't worry. I think the teams are worried as well.
Well, I tell you what, it has been a curious morning, is the best way I can describe it, because certain sights, one I don't want to see is the championship leader being wheeled out of the weekend.
Oh, James. So disappointing. I wonder what the radio messages are coming through to
the checkered flag
drivers.
Has been taken back in, and now the red flag is coming out.
Right, red flag.
And we are now red flagged. So, okay, folks, that does, I think, end this race. Not the most auspicious, but a very, very important race.
It really was. Do you know, I think there might be a few discussions down in pit lane.
There could well be. You know what? There is not the one discussion. Stefano Camini led and won race one. James Nash trying to be consoled. And we are red flagged here, despite the fact that they'd already taken the checkered flag.
You know what?
Some of them had.
I think the red flag was the way of showing the checkered flag around the circuit.
Camini's also showing his displeasure, as only he can. No handbrake turns this time.
Well, he's only perplexed. I think he's just a little perplexed.
Well, I think obviously the radio has told him that as he went to accelerate away, expecting the last lap, and you know, let's be he might be blaming everybody else, but it could be his fault too if he didn't get the right information.
I've got no way of apportioning any blame at all. I think it was just a huge confusion. I even threw confusion in by suggesting that James Nash should continue.
And it may not be over yet.
3 wheels on his car.
He's not stopping for anybody, Camini, is he?
No. Well, he's stopping now. They've got 15 minutes to talk about this.
This will be fun. Good luck, Mark.
Yeah, Mark James is going to really earn his money down here. I think we'll have to broadcast in delay and have a potential bleeper.
Now they're explaining to him what's happened, and he may not have known that he wasn't supposed to do the last lap, and of course everybody else followed suit. The affable Frenchman's not too bothered. Jean-Carl gets out of the car.
So we've got a result.
Yes, we do. Stefano Camini then takes victory in race one. Let's hear from Mark James, and let's hear, this should be fun. Let's see what the Swiss has to say about that race.
Stefano, many congratulations. You did exactly what you had to do.
What I did, a great start and stop. All the race, but with a yellow flag. Also. It's so stupid things. It's so stupid. Sorry, so stupid.
But you did the win, which you desperately needed. You're still in the fight for the championship.
Yeah, this is an half win. It's not a win.
So, as you can see, a rather upset and emotional Stefano Comini, because, like I said, he's a racer's racer, and he doesn't like, as none of us do, to finish under safety in yellows and whatever, but that's the reality, and you can see by the look on his face and by that interview, it's an half win, in his words.
It's not very often you don't see him bubbly and jolly and smiling.
Well, I'm afraid I'm in his court a little bit. It's very frustrating for him and everybody to, you know, have that confusion right at the end there, having had the crashes. And by the way, hats off to all the organisers and marshals in their work to get things up. I mean, just think back to the Lisboa incident where James Nash went out. I think they took about 20 seconds to clear that. So this is
that's amazing. Yeah,
absolutely brilliantly operated by the organisers in terms of getting things back on track. Just circumstances have conspired to you know, to slow things down.
I don't fully understand where the confusion came in, but I'm sure we'll find out in the fullness of time. But you make a really valid point. There may have been a confusion for the drivers.
Yeah. Well, one thing that isn't confusing is the race result, which Stefano Comini wins and therefore edges closer to another title in TCR. Jean-Claude Vernet takes second place, his teammate, and Montero on the podium in the first race, and Borkovic just behind him. Then Pepe Oriola up to fifth place significantly, and so Pepe has definitely done his job. But here's a big news story for you. How about this? Alex Hui in sixth place, and Tin Shi Trai is up to seventh because he did get through that debris. So now we have a possible Thai driver in a position to go for glory. And Andrea Balicki is in eighth position. Edgar Lau likewise in the top 10. So we've got a lot of the Asian drivers entered into this gear race, suddenly now in contention for an overall win. And that's good to see. I doubt any of them will beat Comini, but I would love to see them get some great result. Now, we've got to hear from James Nash. Obviously, his hopes dashed. He's with Mark James.
James, talk us through that incident from your point of view.
Yeah, it was difficult. Verne was backing us up into the pack to allow Comini to disappear. That meant the pack was a bit closer than we normally would be, I think, at Macau. And my car was a bit loose through turn one, which allowed Dusan to get a nice tow. As he pulled out, the slipstream effect sent my car backwards towards Hommler. My aim was then just to stick behind Dusan and keep Hommler behind me. So where I braked was pretty late. I don't know how Hommler was, or the other B3 car was going to get around me. I ran out of road and he was still there, so we came together. A bit unfortunate really, because he didn't need that position and I did, so anyway, never mind.
Can you salvage anything from race 2?
Yeah, of course the guys are going to work, and we've got some of the best boys on the job, so if they can get it done, we'll be back out there. It's all to play for still, it's Macau, and it takes the non-finish from Comini.
You know what? You know what?
Well done, James.
That actually sums up the day.
It does, yeah.
Because James Nash tells it like it is. Yes, it's thumbs down for now, but never say never. He's right, you know. And the way that Comini, his demeanour, he might well have a situation where it's not over yet.
It's far from over. Look at the team working on James's car to...
Well, let's take a look at the highlights then of race 1. It started off with all smiles, but no steering wheel for Pepe. Everybody getting ready for the action. Unfortunately, not a great deal, because not enough laps done, but still a result, as at the restart, away went the man of the moment, Stefano Comini. And Jean-Claude Vernet holding up the pack, as we heard. Big incident to start off with, though. 3 cars involved. And that was just the first. Following right along, after this incident, was another involving one of the top men in the championship, who I think got a little bit of a nudge from behind. That's Morbidelli out. And one of the local China touring car drivers also hitting the barrier hard, and Lau also spun round in the last corner. James Nash's season pretty much could be possibly ended right there and then at Lisboa, as so many championships and so many gear races have ended at the Lisboa corner. But Nash, as ever, stays positive, and he did, 3 wheels on his wagon, make it back to the pits, and it ain't over until the fat lady sings, and I don't hear her just yet. And as the expression goes, it ain't over yet by any means, and it's going to be very interesting to see how race 2 goes. Camini, emotional as ever. It's one thing you can count on Stefano, and this is not the first time he's, you know, had a half interview or whatever. That is Stefano. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, he's calming down, but he's a classic, you know, emotional driver, and I got no problem with it. I understand it, is what I'm getting
passion, at. It's all part of motor racing, isn't it?
It is. And I also don't think, sure, maybe the sponsors want to hear different interviews, but I wonder what Pepe Oriola's got to say, because he too was in the mix and actually had a very good finish in 5th.
Pepe, the dream is over for another year.
Yeah, well, it's over because Giancarlo is doing a fantastic job, holding everybody after doing the safety cars. And as we have been working all year, and the race director was saying that it's maximum 4 cars. There was like 8 cars, so I think it's a little bit unfair, but it's his job. Obviously, he's paid by Leopard, and Leopard wants Stefano to win. And then Omola showed again that he's not a mature driver, pushing out one driver who is leading the series, and he's not playing for nothing. And he ran the James Championship, so I'm proud to show that everybody could see which behavior he has after what he did to me in Malaysia, and I guess he had something against the local guys, because he won my championship mathematically almost in Malaysia, and now here in Lisboa with James. So, well, let's enjoy at least the second race. Maybe if we are lucky, we can do more than 2 laps, because race direction is putting red flags, safety cars, but it's something we need with 36 cars. What do we expect?
I know Stefano is very angry when we interviewed him earlier on. It's a shame the championship is ending this way.
Well, he's playing the same game as he's playing all the time. He's the most happiest guy in the world, because in Macau I saw Rob Huff leading the World Championship with 40 points of advantage and hitting the wall in the section of the mountain, and he almost didn't win the championship. So yeah, he can say that to you and to the people, but he prefer, if he could, he will end right now here the championship, because at the end what he wants is to be champion, and he's again, so happy for him, and like now he will enjoy the race, and let's see if Verne lets us play and have a fun last 2016 Macau race.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, as ever, candid and great stuff by Mark James. Thank you, sir. As Pepe Oriola tells it like it is, and again gives us a wonderful insight. Let's hope that Giancarlo lets us play was the words I took away from that interview, as his championship hopes are dashed. And obviously, you saw it for yourself, Jean-Carl Vonnet doing exactly what he is tactically aware he can do, which is to basically hold the field at the restart. And, well, that's racing, as they say. And there's James Nash again.
Most of the year,
I wonder what I tell you, it would be impressive if they get this going again. Look how much work is being carried out.
It's a hugely professional squad that are working. Vast amount of combined experience. Here we go. This
Here's
is
another
what
look
caused
at it.
it.
You can see Homelet and Borkovic bulking him effectively, but not by any purpose reason, but just trying to get ahead themselves. That's when they touched. Yeah. Homelet goes into the tyres. So too, and it was only in that, you know, it was only a smallest of touches, but
it was, yeah. But it was enough.
Yeah, look, it's gone.
Well, I don't know, it's Homeler or Tassi, I think it was Homeler.
Yeah, and he's now just explaining to one of the journalists.
Where you cut back across.
And yes, he's now correct in his assumption that it was Homeler they touched. But I actually do enjoy watching these guys perform at their best. We always give the glory to the drivers, but these guys are the unsung heroes, without a doubt. The work they do is actually tremendous. And in the time they've got.
In a way, when they turn this car around, confident they will. James Nash has got nothing to lose in the race that we're about to see, and he seemed very calm. See how polite he is. He was explaining off mic just to Ian Titchmarsh, the circuit commentator here at Macau. He was about to do an interview explaining the story to the crowds here at Macau as well.
So a lot of work going on down there right now, and well, there might be, because we've had all sorts of kerfuffle. Let's hear from Tiago Monteiro. He's down in the pits with Mark James.
Tiago, we've heard a few opinions of that race. You were in the middle of it all. What do you make of it?
It was a really strange race. I mean, Macau is always a little bit surprising, but this one we haven't done one lap really, just done restarts, and then every time yellow flags or safety car. So it's not really a race yet, although it was just a few laps to see the level of everyone and prepare the car. But a little bit frustrating. I wanted to race, you know, I wanted to give it a little bit of a fight. So let's hope that now it's going to be a little bit more quiet.
You're an independent observer in all of this. What do you think is going to happen? Obviously, Nash is now way too far back, but it's Macau after all.
Exactly. Nothing is done until the checkered flag. Macau, anything can happen at any time. So, yeah, for sure, now Stefano is in a very good position and Nash in a less good position. But until the end, it's impossible to predict.
Okay, good luck in race 2.
Thank you.
Telling it like it is, again, the Castrol-sponsored Tiago Monteiro, and alongside him, almost as his helper, Antonio Felix da Costa, the man who is looking ahead to his weekend here at Macau and wondering if he'll ever get out on track, I'm sure. But it just shows you that the real calm heads know not to just count their chickens just yet, because they ain't hatched anywhere.
How many times already today have we heard the phrase, anything can happen, it's Macau?
It is, and it's an absolute lottery, and it's the beauty of the event, and it's also obviously frustrating at times when the drivers don't get what they want, but actually we're getting an interesting insight. And this is how it played out with Homola side by side with Nash, and he really couldn't get anywhere, and he did, I think, just touch that inside curve, which sent him further wide than he wanted to. And that's when they touch, because Homola probably would have got round.
And just the briefest of touches has caused all of this. The consequences.
Well, he's back in the car. Look at this.
Yeah. He's
well,
got supreme confidence.
Absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would not have predicted. Well, I didn't. I said that he's out.
He's out. Yeah.
There you go. Commentator's blight. But would you not agree that when you see somebody with a broken suspension in the middle of the race, you'd say there's no way? And I think Mark James is going to attempt the impossible. He's going to try and get an interview with him. So the plot thickens yet again, because Nash is back out.
Almost. Almost.
Now, Stefano trying to stay cool. Let's hear, though, from Jean-Carl Vernet, who has a role to play yet again. He's with Mark.
Jean-Carl, tell me about race 1 from your point of view.
It was a difficult start. Then I made a good move in turn 1 to overtake again Thiago, and then, I mean, the race was no race pretty much. We did only a few laps, so it was difficult, and that's all. I'm happy. I mean, we're getting closer to the championship, so now let's race. Let's take a good start, and we'll see.
Okay, pit lane's about to open. Good luck.
So qualification race considered less than 75% is one of the graphics that's just come up. Oh, there's more and more to this. Hopefully we'll get out fairly soon, but it's also interesting to hear the views of each of the drivers on their experience of the last hour or so. But we do believe that Nash could get out, which would be incredible. Broken rear suspension, but he's out, or he's trying. Yes, he is. He's on the move, and we are green. Well, who'd have thunk it? James Nash is going to attempt to try to salvage this championship from nowhere. And I have to say, if we were at any other circuit in the world, I'd say it was impossible. We are at Macau. All things are possible. And as you heard from the wise head of Tiago Monteiro, it's Macau. You don't predict anything. Away we go then. Track is clean. Very low bottom to Andy Yan's car. The floor plate looking very low on his car. I don't know if that's damage they haven't noticed, but it's as though he's out. He's saying, right, I'm done. Or he's not out yet anyway. But yeah, Andy Yan's car not looking too sprightly, but he's in the hunt, top 10. And remember, the grid for this race is how they finished race 1. So again, let's just wipe the slate clean and let's see these guys take each other on for the final time of 2016 and this famous gear race. It's not the first race that's been delayed. It's not the first race that's had controversy, I can assure you. And it's not the first race that hasn't had damaged cars repaired and back out in the fray.
At the moment, that's not a pretty sight, is it? Not at all. Teams working very, very hard indeed down in pit lane to turn cars around. But one thing is absolutely certain about this Macau gear race. This will be packed with drama, and it's all about to unfold.
Well, the man that looks like Othello, it's almost Shakespearean with Camini, that's for sure.
Threads his way around the circuit, standing by to get the gear race at Macau, this hugely prestigious race for touring cars, multiple disciplines of touring cars.
And that's why the emotions are so high.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake.
It means a lot.
It means a huge amount, not just for the TCR cars, but for all the cars invited to take part in the Macau gear race. And the poor mechanics continue to work down in pit lane in warm conditions, very humid conditions. Trying to turn cars around very quickly is not the work of a moment. So they thread around to the colourful scene on the grid.
And they are still trying to get Afanasieff out.
Yeah,
and you can see he's getting his balaclava on, so he is going out. And it's not over yet in terms of their preparation for it, but he still feels as though he's got a chance of getting out there, which is good news.
It was so impressive working on James Nash's car, wasn't it? That was absolutely fabulous to watch, to get James out.
And there is Kajaya and Andy Yan together on track. David Kajaya warming up his VW. And just behind is Tin Shuitrai, the man I mentioned earlier, who's had an up and down season, but has at times really shown some flair, and I think he's one to watch. He's still a youngster in his mid-20s, and I really think that in terms of what I've seen this year, Tin Shuitrai is one of the most exciting young prospects coming out of Asia in tin tops at the moment. And Tiago, well, he's just exciting.
Well, I was going to say, he couldn't be more relaxed, waiting to get this gear race underway. confidence gives an awful lot, doesn't it? And he's got every reason to be confident this weekend. He's been supremely quick around the gear circuit.
Now, the same circumstances apply as we spoke about some time ago about the tactics for the Sun City Group Macau gear race. The two cars on the front row, the Leopard Volkswagens, need to become as wide as they possibly can at the start. And after the way race 1 finished, I know that there's a lot of motivation. And look at that, 90%, 790% humidity. That's about right. 26 degrees, but 90% humidity. Very, very, very humid indeed.
I've never seen
790, no.
790%.
Definitely feels that way.
In other words, really sticky.
Yes. So, last minute preparation. A buzz in the air. The crowd in front of us here in the hospitalities on their feet. And you know what? While the race purists may be frustrated and the drivers may give the odd interview that they're not happy, the fans are loving every moment of this.
They really are.
Because this is what they came to see. Pushing these cars around this amazing circuit as hard as they possibly can. Emotions running high. Decisions being made in the heat of the moment. And now this man, Kamini, has to settle right down. You can see, by the way, he's just putting his hands together. He's trying to, you see, yeah, leave me alone. But he is trying to focus, isn't he?
Yep, getting in that zone ahead of the start of what is a very, very important race.
It's interestingly emotions, because when you're a racing driver, because staying calm is what it's all about. But there are drivers that use that emotion. I mean, I think of Vettel. I mean, we've heard more from Vettel on the radio.
That's true.
This year, and his frustrations, and it can be positive and it can be negative. I think it's negative in his case. I think Kamini's case, he's a Latin. He's able to just get passionate, calm it down, and do it again. That's how he works.
Passion. Yep, he drives with passion and emotion. Something that was so often attributed to the likes of Nigel Mansell. Always drove with passion. It was why he was so popular with the crowds, because whether he had a good car, whether he had a bad car, he always drove with a huge amount of passion.
And not being funny, but you can draw some parallels, I mean, strange as they may be, with Kamini, because even though he was a Brummie, for a Brit, Mansell absolutely wore his heart on his sleeve, and that's why they loved him so much. In the bikes, Sam Lowes and his brother Alex are the same. They are much loved, and you know, there are a lot of racing drivers. Andy Priault, very professional but very heartfelt about any race that he was doing. He really brought you in. Rob Halfwell says it all alone. I mean, well, but it does, doesn't it? I mean, Rob's family's emotions on the sidelines.
Rob would drive any car. I mean, he just loves driving racing cars.
If they said, we will give you one of the old Mini Mokes, he'd take it.
Yeah. I mean, for many years when Rob was in World Touring Cars, he was still doing club races in the UK in an MG. Yeah. Because he wanted to, because he enjoyed it.
I saw him in China, and he was at the Shanghai circuit. He wasn't racing there either, but he came to China and he high-fived me and said, "Gonna be at Macau? Gonna be at Macau?" Yes.
I should say. Pepe Oriola gets into the Seat Leon. About to get strapped in, ready for...
Now, I've got a feeling this man's going for it.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're
He's fifth on the grid.
I'm going to be on...
Yes, I'm going to put you on watch again.
Nash watch.
Well, no question. And Oriola watch.
Okay, I can do that.
You're on red watch.
I can look at red cars. Yeah, I can do that. So the expectant crowd.
I'll be on first watch, as they say in the Navy.
Yeah, yes, you are. Very much so.
Alex Fui, the Hong Kong driver in the Citroën Elise. We haven't got many of those out there. It's nice to see that we've got the cross-section for the gear yet again. It's always been a multicultural and multi-manufacturer race, and that's the essence of what began in '72.
Yeah, multi-series.
Yeah.
The invitation for the gear race.
Tin Street, and that's the point, isn't it? Yeah, Tin Street Drive in the Honda Civic. And there he is. Now talk about a great family outfit. Mum, Dad, everybody all come to the races. It's great. And they are classic Thais, as it were. She's cooking up in the pits and making great Thai food for her boy as he gets out the car.
Didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant. Andrea Balecki not had a good weekend. And Alfa Romeo, the Giulietta, has been given a lot of compensation. Just not on the pace at all this weekend. Real shame.
Amazing how much you can tell from the eyes of a driver. You can only see the eyes, but yeah, there's a definite droop.
Yes, I call it helmet speak, because there is so much from, you know, gait and, you know, demeanor, head shake, how they walk, how they talk.
Try and read
even
those
if you can't read their lips, you know exactly what's going on.
Try and read the eyes there. No good. Wearing sunglasses.
Edgar Lau. George Munro, his famous voice, bellows out over the Macau circuit to let us know that we are about to go racing for the gear race. A two-part gear race. And here is your grid. Camini will lead them away. His teammate Jean-Carl Venet in close attention in second place. They will try to hold that front row down to Lisboa. Not if Monteiro has anything to do with it, or Borkovic. Dusan, frustrated last time out, he's in fourth position. Pepe Oriola, likewise, wants to come through. Could we have a surprise from the Citroën Elise in sixth place? What a moment for him to be in this world-class field. And the same's true for Tin Street Tri, who's been here before at Singapore in the top 10. Andrea Balicki is in eighth position. He's in rarefied air, is Tin, and likewise, so too, Edgar Lau of Hong Kong in ninth position, ahead of the famous Rafael Galeana and Mikhail Grachev. Grachev in 11th position, and then Wei Chao Yin in 12th. Further down, Kajaya, Lu Hon Kuei, Kevin Say. 18th is James Nash. Andy Yan down in 19th position. He'll be disappointed with that, because he had at one point been up as far as 9th position. Xiang Yao Hui in 21st position, then Sunny Wong in the second of the Citroën Elises.
We just had a view there, Johnny, of James Nash working at the wheel of the car. This really his first proper opportunity to make sure that that car has been, the repairs have been effected, and how the car is going to be behaving. It might be behaving particularly differently now after the repairs. So his first real chance to get a feel for the car now and what he can do with it in this big race. So tremendous work by the team. And now James finds out if all of that work has paid off, and he's got the same car that he had before. Once again, that great view from above of Camini.
And let's see if the emotions run wild, because the reality is Camini has gone from an outside chance to being odds on in a matter of an hour. And he needs to realize that, because this track will bite.
So if I give the other side of it, he's now the one under pressure.
Absolutely. And that's what I meant in many ways, because it's all very well worrying about race one.
Yeah.
But now, and I think he will, but he's got a job to do. And yeah, the pressure is on, because the championship is his to win or lose.
And so too has James Nash. He's got a job to do as well. It's a tough mountain to climb from where James will start. But huge credit to him and his demeanour and the positive way that he attack the situation after race 1. And also huge credit to the team for working so hard. It's quite unique as well that we get in the open pit lane here in that 15 minutes chance to actually watch the mechanics working on the car.
Well, the biggest thing I'll take away from this weekend is how much of an insight we've been given on the drivers on the day. And long may it continue. I'd like to see more of it because it really does effectively round out the story.
Yes.
Because it's all very well talking about what you see on screen, but you want to hear from the drivers.
Fills in all the gaps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Team managers and drivers, and effectively they've all also been very open with their plans and what they've got to do, and effectively letting you understand their motivation and their effectively plan for the race.
Right.
Here's a man with a plan.
Drama will unfold.
That we can ensure.
Let's hope we get a trouble-free race for...
Well, you've done it now.
Let's hope we get a trouble-free race for the Macau gear race.
It's Macau, come on. It is the hardest street circuit, if not the hardest circuit, and most challenging circuit in the world. That's why we love it. In comes the number 11.
Alex Hui into pit lane.
Well, that's a shame, because he was in a good position. Big shame. And they've aborted things there. Here we go then. Afanasiev also not too happy. Everybody wants to race Macau. But who is going to win the title? What can Volkswagen do? What can the rest do? Here we go. The lights come on. Out they go, away we go. Good start this time from Camini. Good start from Monteiro. He's already up to second place and already vying for the lead. Brilliant start by the Portuguese. He comes alongside Camini. He's got this, you know. And Camini will try to stop him at Mandarin. But I think Thiago Monteiro has got the lead here at Macau. And he said earlier in the weekend that he's never won, and he really wants to win at Macau. Now he's got his chance.
And it was a very good start by Pepe Oriola as well. Look at him there in 5th place, having a look to challenge. Catch up with James Nash in due course, but he was quick off the line. But Monteiro, absolutely supreme.
And look at Oriola already, and he bumps into the back of Borkovic and literally nudges him out of the way, but not quite. And luckily he holds steer and just about stays on track. Where's Nash? I put you on Nash watch. Where is he?
I am on Nash watch, but I haven't been able to count the number of positions as yet.
So then, into hospital for the first time, heading towards maternity. Good bright start, good clean start finally. And a brilliant start by Thiago Monteiro. I've watched him off the line, flash past our commentary position. He is a man on a mission. But, as far as Volkswagen are concerned, he's not the issue. Vernay really doing a good job as well as they come through top of the hill and down towards police for the first of 10 laps. Your thoughts on Monteiro's start?
Absolutely supreme. He was supreme from out of the box on Thursday here in practice.
Yes.
A small problem on Friday with the turbo. It didn't hinder him. He didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
He didn't worry. He didn't mind.
Yes, he had one brilliant practice, then had no practice in the second.
0 to 0 completely, but he wasn't put off, and I think it's because he knew how quick the car was around the Macau circuit. Look at this, what a view from the back of Thiago Monteiro's car. Supreme looking back at Camini.
And a brilliant second sector by Camini at 1:37.2, and that's half a second, if not more, quicker than anybody else at the moment. Brilliant start by Camini, but and that's put him back in the box seat in terms of challenging the leader.
I can't be absolutely sure, we haven't had a clear view, but it looks like Nash might be 10th.
Well, we'll soon find out. They cross the line now. Thiago Monteiro does a 2:43.3, a brilliant lap to start us off. Camini, though, that second sector was very impressive.
He's 11th.
And Tin Sri Trai is up to 6th place behind Pepe Oriola. He's going to be living the dream, that's for sure.
James Nash, 11th.
Dusan Vorkovic, who got hit from behind, is still in 4th position. But as you can see, he's all over the back of the number 2. As we go in, talking of all over the back of, Monteiro under pressure now from Camini.
And good racing as well. These top 5 have broken away. Pepe Oriola in 5th place. Thiago Monteiro, we're looking at him, the race leader.
Great onboards from Stefano. I'd like to see that overhead shot now with his hands working as he heads towards maternity. But this is going to be close. And look at this field lining up behind Thiago. Now, this happened in the first race too. Thiago was electric off the start, but then just in the mountain section, the rest were able to catch up. And I just wonder if his setup is such that he's elected to be fast, but it keeps him kind of a bit leery in this mountain section. But it's going to be an interesting race for sure. The Honda comes through, and down the hill he goes.
James Nash, car in front of him, Edgar Lau, and then Josh Files. So 11th at the end of the opening lap. However, when you're down in that part of the grid, when you're down in that part of the pack, your lap times are considerably slower. James Nash's lap time was a 2:52.8. Thiago Monteiro's lap time a 2:43.3. Significantly different towards that end of the grid.
And Pepe Oriola, you see him in 5th place in the all-red car, the Seat, the fastest first sector, 26.1, significantly faster than Thiago Monteiro. And let's take a look at the second sectors where Thiago Monteiro bounces back compared to Oriola, for example, with a 36.5 compared to Oriola's 37.6. So that just shows you how the different cars react in the two sectors that are very distinctive. And this last sector really is only a 30-second sector, and pretty much everybody's fairly equal through this sector.
That's the top 5 that you're seeing there, and they really are, as you can see, in a class of their own. Across the line they go. 2 laps are now complete. Two laps complete by Thiago Monteiro. Overall quickest in the middle sector, 1:36.574 for Thiago Monteiro. Here we go.
Well, you can't go on the inside at Mandarin, and he thought about it, but now that has led to Oriola. So just as you think you're fighting for position, Oriola says, no, I'm going to take you instead.
Thanks very much. 4th place.
Exactly. Pepe goes up to 4th. That was interesting, wasn't it? Because, to be honest, Dusan messed that one up a little bit, didn't he? Because he was all over the back of Vernet, but and then when he got it wrong, because he can't go up the inside of Mandarin, it's as simple as that.
Hey, look at this. We said Pepe Oriola, always good at Macau. Fastest lap of the race,
no
2:35.6.
Brilliant.
Super work by Pepe Oriola, and now he's behind the VWs.
Nash is in 9th position. This is far from over, folks.
He's doing great work. He's doing super work. Up to 9th at the end of the second lap, and the lap time for James Nash was a 2:36.924, compares to a 2:35.6.
Well, everybody on tenterhooks right now, because it's all going off here in terms of the championship. Camini trying to stay steady, trying to stay clean. But he wants to win, and he wants to do it in style. He won race 2 this time last year and took the title. Thiago Monteiro, though, wants to win at Macau. He's a Portuguese driver. He sat and watched Antonio Felix da Costa. Wouldn't it be a weekend if we had...
It would be supreme.
2 Portuguese winners.
It would be supreme.
You know, out of all of the confusion, what a great day it would be.
Yeah. I think there are a few flags in the crowd here, the bumper crowd that we
Red
get
flag.
here at Macau. Goodness.
Well, it has to be a red flag. And that's car number 12.
Which was running down in 17th place.
Yat-Xing, Sunny Wong.
So a restart under safety car in prospect once the track is clear. Maybe that will give us chance for Pepe Oriola to do something about this final podium position. I got the impression that he was quite keen to do that.
Well, the crowd in front of us are loving it because they're getting a good view of all this.
They get to see quite a few starts as well.
Yeah, they picked a good spot for today.
They have.
Well,
there's James Nash. What a great job to get that car race-worthy.
Well, I mean, and more importantly, in the top 10.
2:36. 9:24 was that lap for James Nash.
So race suspended yet again after another big pileup and more damage. Let's have a look. And that is at the bottom of police going into Moorish Hill, and yeah. And again, the problem is there's no way of craning everything out of there quickly. Several cars with damage, including this one. It's 28, that's Kevin C. 16th place, and see, look, he'll make it round, unless actually it looks as though that suspension could be bent at least, if not a puncture, but he's not in good state, as you can see by the way that either the bodywork is rubbing on the rear tyre and causing that smoke, but again, and look at that, miraculous. Said it couldn't be done quickly. I love it when they prove me wrong. Brilliant. I tell you, the marshalling and of this race has been absolutely amazing, how quickly these guys have reacted. Absolutely brilliant. And they train, you know, and volunteer to be part of it. 500 in all getting through the training program. And they are on song. And now cars starting to filter into the pits as well. Claudio Barrow still looking rather pensive, as well he might. Quickly go through the order then. Monteiro, when the red flag came out, was leading this race by half a second over Stefano Camini. So, just been doing some mental arithmetic with a little bit of help. At the moment, as we stand at this red flag, with just a smattering of laps to go in 2016 for these cars, Camini has 279.5 points. Nash has 264.
It's not over yet.
Never over. Not at Macau.
9th place for James Nash as it stands. 264 points. Stefano Camini, 2nd place. 279.5.
Oh, that's a mess, isn't it?
It is rather. So, race suspended. Thiago Monteiro. Let's just look back and reflect on that start that Thiago made. absolutely supreme.
Yeah, that to be honest, that's been the story of the racing we've had today. It's been Thiago's starts. Doesn't matter whether it's a rolling start or a standing start, he's awesome.
Absolutely brilliant. So down into pit lane, familiar territory for the drivers in the Macau gear race this year. So just in front of our commentary box, they thread their way down, and
and a little bit of radio talk back there for a second. That was quite interesting. I'd love to be able to tune into that. Might not be what they want though.
Possibly not, no.
Once did a documentary on Andy Prio here at Macau, and we afterwards got access to it, and we worked with him and his engineer, and we got all of it, and it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. You really do not realize how much a conversation.
Does he talk much?
Chatting away.
Does he?
I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. There's chatter here. There's there's movement here. This disc feels hot. It's not braking as well as it wants to. Oh, but Andy is one of those cerebral guys who.
See, some
guys don't say a
talk
word.
too much. No. And also don't want too much to be said to them either.
Yeah, I got this. I think the words you're looking for. I got this. Leave me alone.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. That's what I meant. Sorry. I know what I'm doing. Kimmy, bless his cottons. So, a patched up Liquimoli number 7 comes into the pits. Hence the team. So 10 minutes. That gives us chance to once again talk about the champion-elect, Stefano Camini. He's with Mark.
Stefano currently second behind Thiago. Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not easy because I want to do some show for the public, but I don't want to lose the championship for something like this. Because it's very difficult. For me now in my mind is really not so easy.
How difficult is it to keep the concentration when it keeps stopping and starting?
So when you are keep pushing fast, the concentration is every time there. When you are trying to not to risk too much, after concentration is very difficult.
How confident are you about the restart?
About the restart?
About the last part of the race?
I don't know.
He doesn't want to even draw attention to it because he knows that he's very close to the finishing line. And as always, a very candid Stefano Camini. And yep, just wants to get to the finish. But this man just wants to win. He's getting some good advice.
He really is.
From this fella on his left. If you don't recognize him, it's Antonio. And look, he's doing the job. Look, he could be concentrating with his engineer on his race coming up. But no,
maybe
he's keeping Thiago cool.
Yeah, and maybe this is the way that Antonio wants to get ready for the Macau Grand Prix later on, the F3 World Cup.
Well, Jean-Carl Venet has played his part so far, and there's more to come. He's down with Mark.
Jean-Carl, your teammate seems happy enough. What about you?
It's okay. I think we're really quick, but like we nearly had not to slow down, but we were even, quicker than Thiago and Stefano in the sector 2. So I think it's pretty good. I did a little mistake in the last corner. That's why it was a little bit hot with Dushan and Pepe. Everything's good. At the start, I received a massive shot from Pepe. I nearly my neck hurt a little bit because I was not waiting these kind of things, but otherwise, no, I think it's good. Let's see. I want to do my race. I can finish second in the championship, so we'll see. Pepe is behind me. We're playing the podium. I'm sure it's going to be fair. We have good relation all together, and yeah, we'll see. I hope it will not be stock car. That's all.
But I definitely want to win the race. I think I'm really quick enough for that.
You also have a job to do to protect Stefano.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I'm a professional driver, so I have to listen what my boss said, but we'll see.
Yes, as insightful as ever. I have to do what my boss says, but and also from the former Indy Lights champion, I hope it's not Stuttgart, he says. I think we all understand what he means. A lot of crashes today, and a lot of hard work for everyone involved down there in the pit lane, trying to get these guys where they need to be, and also keep the focus, because there's so much going on. And you heard it from Kamini, he hardly, you know, like I said, he doesn't really want to do the interview because he doesn't really want to think too much. One man who loves to think, though, and he'll talk all day. Pepe Oriola, he's with Mark.
Pepe, I've already spoken to the two Leopard guys. They seem happy enough. What about you?
Well, I'm not happy because we're not racing. This is a disaster. Before we did 2 laps. Now when I had everything under temperature, I was attacking Jangal. Again, red flag. And okay, we have safety cars. Why are we all the time stopping the race? We did the whole lap on the red flag. There was no one blocking the way. So this race director, I don't know what he's thinking. I guess it's for safety. I don't know what's going on the track, but he should consider to let us race. That is why we are here, you know. We're all the time stopped, and the time is counting down. So I don't know what's. Well, we knew that it's going to be like this when we saw 36 cars, but not as this, because it was not a big accident now. So.
Jean-Carl just told us that he's still planning to win. He wants to win. What can you do?
I have to overtake him to get third on the championship, so I'm going to pass him. I don't know how. I don't know if it will be success or not, but I really need to try. So I don't know. We'll see. And if he will say win, he needs to push. But now, not like before that, he was giving 100 meters to Stefan's safety car. Okay, good luck.
Now you speak, Pepe. What was he saying at the end there?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Something about his boots.
Yeah. Sorry. I just heard the announcement down in pit lane as well. I think there was going to be an announcement, but then the announcement changed. So it was attention pit lane and then stand by. So I think we're
look at the face.
Yeah.
It says it all. That actually sums up the real emotion of what's going on with these drivers. It is really, really taxing them.
It's a roller coaster, isn't it?
It's a massive emotional roller coaster, and we've seen it obviously with Kamini, but we expect to see it with him. We've seen it a million times, and not with this man perhaps. And it really is tough. And like I said, 90% humidity.
Yeah, it's very, very hard work. You may have seen earlier on Kamini receiving.
Well, let's see if Thiago Monteiro can win the Macau Grand Prix. He's with Mark.
Thiago, inside that helmet, you look a happy man. Are you quite relieved with the way things are going?
No, I'll be relieved in 6 or 7 laps. Not yet relieved, to be honest. No, I mean, anything can happen here, you know. Stefano is very strong behind, Jean-Carl as well. So Macau is really, really stressful, really tense. I might look happy, but I'm really focused and tense at the moment. You know, I want to finish on a good note. I don't have anything to lose, really, so I want to win. So I'm going to push hard, 6 or 7 laps, and we'll see.
Fantastic start, though, and obviously you're in the driving seat literally for when the restart happens.
Yeah, the restart is always a different story. Try to be clever about it, and let's go.
Good luck.
So, those are the words of Thiago Monteiro. Smart. Very smart. He knows that it's not over. He says, I'll be happy in 6 or 7 laps, not right now.
Mark James was right, though. He said, you look happy, and he does. His eyes are sparkling.
I mean, to be honest, Thiago lives for this, as all the drivers do. They love racing at Macau. It's the double-edged sword, you know. You want the ultimate experience, you want the ultimate challenge, so you go round to a street race. But there's an inevitability to it all. It's like anything. You like to go high on the swing, but eventually it's...
Yeah, that's true.
You like the long slides, but it gets faster and faster. But you know what I mean?
It does.
Everybody loves the thrill of Macau, but those thrills can end very quickly indeed.
I'll be happy in 6 or 7 laps, said Tiago Montero. I'm not sure what the regulation is, but we're pretty behind in the schedule now for the window for the gear race. So how many laps they get on the resumption of this race, we've yet to see.
Yeah, this was a race that started at 10 o'clock local time.
Last night. No, this morning. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Jean-Carl, and you can see the humidity now getting to him. I think, you know, that, to be honest, that's not a part of this day that we're not experiencing here, but these guys all are. Imagine how hot it is with a fireproof suit on, balaclava, helmet, boots, engine, red hot, disc brakes, hot, hot, hot.
And you've seen many of them taking lots of water on board.
Close to 3 hours in those conditions.
Yeah.
I wonder what Claudio Berro is going, or how he's going, because he's now down with Mark James and, of course, the championship on the line.
Claudio, you look calm, but I'm sure you're anything but.
Yes, we have 11 minutes to go to the end. And then we have to see what happened, but we have to stay careful and to achieve the final result.
What would it mean to you and the team for Stefano to bring this championship home?
Yeah, for Leopold it's so important. Also Jean-Carl, he make a fantastic job in the first race. And now we are on our plan. We wait just only to finish early as possible.
I'll await the celebrations. Good luck in the rest of this race.
Thank you very much.
So, we have, it looks like, 11 minutes of racing, because obviously there becomes a window. We've got a lot of international racing still to come from Macau, and the big races are still to come, and therefore they won't have time to get the remaining laps that they want in of the 12, and therefore it'll be, it looks like an 11-minute sprint, which, what do you reckon? 2 or 3 laps, that's it really. And the championship will be won and lost, as you just heard. And everybody very on tenterhooks at the moment about just exactly what will unfold in the next few moments. It's, I'm sure, amusing. The great Emanuele Pirro watching on the sidelines and part of the Macau organization this year. And I'm sure he's got a rueful smile about the days at Macau and what can be thrown up in front of you during a race weekend. Slippery track at Lisboa is what the graphic is saying in my booth. So that is on everybody else's timing screen as well. So that needs to be made wary of. And my clock is ticking down, saying 8 minutes and 36 seconds to go.
I've just been keeping one ear on the pit lane announcement. There are 5 cars that have been requested to complete 1 lap on circuit and then return to pit lane. I was having trouble hearing it, just listening through the window. Car 21 required to do 1 lap. Car number 14, that's Ying Wei. Car number 20 required to do 1 lap. That's Ki Lao. And car number 7 as well, Kajaya. And I think I heard car 28, which will be Kevin Say as well. Maybe only 4. I might have misheard the first one.
And the reason being?
No, there was no reason, but they are required to do 1 lap and then return to pit lane.
Or spin it round at Lisboa on that warm-up lap. Slippery track at Lisboa.
Slippery track
and
at
there
Lisboa.
it is. So, no, I'm not going to be rude to him, because even though the signal was out there, it's obviously slippier than we expected. I did hear the screech, actually. We didn't see him go round at first, but I did hear the squeal of tyres, and here's what happened. Just out of shot, as we saw the first guy's going round. There it was. Yeah, look. Big time. Very slippy indeed. Now that, in some ways, now I can understand fully what's going on, because they needed to do that to let everybody know. As the clock ticks down, the mighty Macau, she's not happy with us today.
That's a very good way of putting it.
The old girl that is the famous circuit is definitely throwing up its toughest challenge.
That's broken suspension, isn't it?
Yep. And it's car 21.
So it requires a lift. That's Zi Zhang. Car being lifted out the way.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, he's in one of number 21. One of the China touring car entries.
I've now got something on screen that says all cars are required to do 1 lap and come back to pit
Well, that
lane.
makes sense.
Yeah, so it was initially just 5 cars, and now all cars.
All cars required to do 1 lap and come back to pit lane. I really do feel for these guys.
Now, one thing that we do get here at the Macau Grand Prix is the opportunity for a track parade in the build-up for the Formula 3 race this afternoon. Now, I wonder, this delay that we've got with the gear race, are maybe things like that going to...
well, that's how they plan it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame, but it's how
You've
how
got that
you
window.
keep the day going. Do you know, it's funny. The first thing I got when I got out of bed this morning at about 5:30, I checked that at 5:41 the sun will go down.
Yeah.
So that pretty much gives you everything you need to know. Can't race in the dark.
No. Well, certainly not Formula 3 cars.
No. So yeah, but that's all part, after 63 years of the planning of this event. They do know exactly the windows they've got, and they will keep to them, which is why we're getting, just in case you were confused as to why they've chosen to do this. If you're just coming in and you're a touring car fan and you watch these sorts of cars around the world, Macau is a very, very different animal. We have a list of 7 international races and a motorcycle race, and 1 track only, no variation, no change in that track. If it gets damaged, we have to repair it. If there is a problem, if there is a slippery track, we have to take safety precautions. We value the safety of the drivers more than anything else, and those marshalling as well. And that is the key to why we have the delays, in case you were wondering, and why we also run to a window. He's got his watch on his glove. He's great.
Time stood still.
It is a little. That, oh, touche. Mister, that was a good line. Time has stood still for Stefano, but maybe he's just on time at the right time. I don't think at the beginning of the weekend he necessarily thought he was going to get anywhere near this championship. The way Nash has been driving and motivated, it looked as though, man, in 8th position now, wasn't going to relinquish that position of
5
first.
minutes. 5 minutes. Resumption of race. James Nash, feeling the heat, feeling the humidity. Spoke to James Nash at the start of the week at Heathrow Airport, waiting to fly out to Macau, and he said, I'm just going to do my normal thing this weekend. Normal is a relative concept. He would not have known the way today was going to pan out. And damage in the qualification race, a speedy repair, and now a charge through the field.
Meanwhile, the clock ticks down. We're at 2:30.
Tiago Montero.
More discussion on the pit wall.
This is a race that is, I'm not sure I've ever seen so many inter-team discussions taking place down in pit lane as we've had during the gear race. 3-minute ball being given down in pit lane, saying the race will resume in 3 minutes down in pit lane. So the ball being held up down the row of cars in pit lane. 3 minutes until we get this resumed. So as far as the resumption of this race is concerned, now the drivers begin to get themselves ready for that full lap around the circuit to get things back underway. The final sprint. Tiago Monteiro has been supreme this weekend.
Yes. Yeah, to be honest, that's the best story of the weekend.
It is.
Is his form. Because he's a World Touring Car driver. He doesn't race regularly in these cars. And then again, a car's a car, and he is a brilliant driver, whatever you throw him in. But you know, to be fair, he's coming in as a guest drive, and that is pretty impressive, the way he has handled himself against this world-class field, because he's in his own world-class field, and Rob Huff did it last year, and Tiago is doing it this year.
They can drive anything when they're at this kind of this kind of level.
And it's Macau.
Front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. Some of them try motorcycles occasionally. Saw recently up at Knockhill in Scotland that John McGuinness, the Isle of Man TT legend, had a go in Gordon Shedden's Honda Civic Type R touring car and loved it.
Yeah, I felt sorry for John. I saw him tweet out last night his last ever ride on a Honda. And he said, this old girl has looked after me over the years.
Yes.
And nice moment if you know John McGuinness, because he has been synonymous with winning with that bike. And yeah, no surprise that he wouldn't mind taking another Honda out.
I am humbled to say that I sort of know John McGuinness.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Poke him in the eye, why don't you? So we are going to have 1 lap behind the safety car and then a 2-lap sprint. Well, if you're going to have a grand finale, why not do it in style?
Here we go. The final time of asking for the Macau gear race. That doesn't give James Nash a huge amount of opportunity. He's registered in 8th position. Not a huge amount of chance to make up places.
So we're headed out, and it looks as though finally we're underway, as Tiago Monteiro will lead them out, and this restart after the safety car will be critical. But what a moment it will be for Tiago Monteiro if he can hold on and go all the way. He's had an amazing career. Started back in 2004. World Series by Nissan, if I remember. Got 2nd place in that. He was also a Formula One World Championship driver in 2005. So Just got a little microphone problem for a second there. Hopefully we will be underway fairly soon. And it looks as though everybody's out that is going to compete in this last 2-lap sprint. And we wait to see whether Thiago Monteiro can do the business here. And there's that wonderful overhead shot. We haven't seen too much of it in the race itself, but great illustration of how the hands work. I remember one year we had a similar camera on the feet of some of the drivers, and that too was a massive insight into just what it takes. And it's a far more physical operation than it looks from the outside. And I'm often asked why my excitement level goes through the roof at times, because I know how hard they're working inside those cockpits. And it's pretty intense to watch these guys. So, here we are. Warming up those tyres. And just having a little adjustment here in the commentary booth as well. But we'll be ready to go. And slippery track at Lisboa. That line is still out. Now, will we go racing? Yes, we will. It's going to be a 2-lap sprint. And Monteiro will lead the way for Portugal. The Can Switzerland's Stefano Camini, stop him. I don't think he's going to attempt too much. Green flag waves. We're racing at Macau once again. Good start from Pepe Oriola. Not a great start from Nash. There he is. And, well, almost identical to his previous crash low. And luckily he gets going again, and we should get these last 2 laps in.
You remember how determined we thought Pepe Oriola was to finish up on the podium. Watch him now.
Yes, here we go. Down, the lights blazing on Monteiro. Done a good job at the restart. Under braking now, look at this. And Pepe almost bumping into the back of the Volkswagen. Oh, great onboard shot. Looking back, Camini and Varney have switched positions. Varney has gone ahead. Now, that's not according to plan. But does it matter, I wonder?
Well, he said he'd do what his boss had told him. So clearly, his boss hasn't told him not to overtake Camini.
Ah, that'll frustrate Stefano for sure. And now Pepe Oriola wants a bit of the action.
He's looking at Camini.
So, this is getting very intense indeed. It's not over, folks.
That is
wild, isn't it?
Hugely interesting that they would put Camini back now in the clutches of Pepe Oriola.
Yep. Another twist to the tail, and Oriola looks to the inside. Surely not.
Oh, wow.
Well, he thought about it, didn't he?
He really did think about it.
Now, one more chance here, but surely not again. A little tap, a little love tap through Moorish. Maybe. Here we are. We'll see it for ourselves as we're on board. No. Maybe into Donna Maria. Now remember, after Donna Maria, which is coming up now, it's a full course yellow. You cannot overtake here.
The left-hander that goes on forever and ever, according to Danny Watts yesterday.
And then the tightest turn in motor racing. Now you can overtake, and now you can do your love tap. That was definitely it. Little nudge to say, listen, mate, I'm coming through whether you like it or not. Seen that a few times before. That was very Huff-esque.
So now the circuit opens out, and Pepe Oriola right on the tail of Camini.
Well, the emotions of Camini will be running high for sure now, especially being pushed around the track, which he won't like much. And this will be the last lap of the gear race 2016. Tiago Monteiro, the guest driver, is going to see that board with delight. And now it's going to be full concentration and head down. He cannot make a mistake now.
Do not take your eyes off Pepe Oriola on the run down towards Lisboa. Absolutely fascinating. Camini.
Oh, look
Oriola.
at this. Side by side. Oriola's got the line, surely. And the only way Camini is going to beat him, and he's not going to because Oriola's already passed. I was about to say is to outbrake him. And Camini is going back into the clutches of Nash, who is 8th.
James Nash, 8th place on the final lap. And Camini now down in 4th.
Pepe Oriola, fastest sector 1. What a brilliant job Pepe Oriola is doing. So, Monteiro comes out of maternity, a circuit he knows all too well. The Portuguese. We've already had one Portuguese winner this weekend. Will we have a second? Honda, loving nothing more. Well, there would still be 10 points difference between Comini and Nash if it finished this way. So, as we stand, Camini's the champion, but he's got to stay there.
Important lap for Nash. Look at Pepe Oriola having a look now.
He's more than having a look, he's having a push too.
2nd place.
Hey, Jean-Carl, here I come. How'd you like my Seat logo?
This is fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Meanwhile,
Tiago Monteiro is doing what he's done all weekend.
Yeah, he's gone, he's off.
Absolutely supreme.
Right, we're coming to the final hurrah of this amazing and fascinating Gear 2016 race. Stefano Camini is on the verge of taking the title again, but more importantly for Tiago Monteiro, he is going to win at Macau in what has been one of the toughest challenges ever in the history of the 63 years of the Macau Grand Prix. Here he comes, the Portuguese driver. One more corner to go, and it's our bend. Out of it he comes, nice and smooth. Keep it tidy. And there's the checkered flag. Monteiro wins the gear race in 2016 to the delight of the fans here at Macau. The fan favorite does the business. Meanwhile, Vane comes across the line in 3rd, Oriola in 2nd, Oriola in 3rd, and Stefano Camini comes across the line, a delicate 4th place.
And Nash finishes in 8th place.
And that means
it's not enough.
The title goes to Stefano Camini for TCR International. And he knows it.
Wow.
I know, exactly. Wow. Kept us in suspense, didn't they?
Goodness me, did they? Tiago Monteiro, supreme, absolutely superb over 2 laps. Camini, now the eyes are smiling. What a peculiar morning in the office it's been for him. And Pepe Oriola, as we knew he would, started the qualification race 10th place, but finishes up on the podium. There we go. Confirmation.
That's right, TCR champion 2016, Stefano Camini. Now they've had to have those made up. I always think it's a bit of a luxury cost to do that, but they've done it anyway.
Well, I for one am feeling very sorry for James Nash. Pepe Oriola screeching the tyres as he makes his way around maternity, but poor James came here to Macau leading the championship. In the end, he ends up in the runner-up spot. But a gear race that couldn't have been any more jam-packed with drama.
And I just want to explain to those tuning in to watch the GT race, the GT World Cup, the FIA GT World Cup. We've had a massive delay in our gear race, and that is why you've just tuned in to watch GTs. They are coming very quickly, and we will get the start procedure done as quickly as we can to keep everything on track. But that has been a long day, almost, well, actually to the minute, 4 hours for the gear race. Now, the original race in 1954 was, I think, 3.5 hours, so it's a new record. But we had a lot of drama to deal with, that's for sure, and a lot of high emotions. But out of it came Thiago Monteiro as the champion of Macau, and that adds to his accolades. And yes, we do.
He's having way too much fun.
And if you don't know what I'm referring to the fact that he just did another handbrake turn around Malco.
He's having way too much
and
fun.
then gives us a yeehaw and a woohoo. Love it. Good work. And already with these guys on there. It's end of season, end of school.
It is, yeah, it very is. They can let their hair down, and in fairness, Kamini has got enough hair to let down.
Yes, you think you shave it off now?
Well, I don't know. I think he enjoyed the beard earlier on. It gave him opportunity to stroke the beard and ponder. Something that most of us don't get the chance to do without a beard, but he was pondering in between, just thinking about what lay in prospect. I wonder if he got up this morning and thought that this was the probability rather than the possibility.
Well, like every driver has told us, you just, because of the unpredictability of it, you just cannot, say yay and nay.
Anything can happen at Macau. So many times we've heard that today down in pit lane.
I know, it's a cliche, I realise, but it's not.
How true it is.
If you've just watched what we've just watched, it's not a cliche at all.
How true it is.
In motor racing terms, I don't think there's anything like it. Monaco, yes, it's unpredictable, but Macau is different.
I wonder what celebrations we're going to see here in just a moment's time.
John Carvenet played his part well. And let's just watch as the emotion sinks in to the new champion and the winner of 2016. Confirmation then of the result. Thiago Monteiro wins for Portugal, and a very happy Macau audience. Jean-Carl Vernet takes second place for France. Pepe Oriola for Spain in third. Kamini takes fourth place ahead of Borkovic. Then it's Josh Files in sixth place. Mikhail Grachev in seventh. James Nash, who led the championship coming in here, in the end finishes eighth behind Bilicki. Behind him is Bilicki, then Andy Yan making the top 10. Good for him. And a little further down, sad day for Antti Burri, who had shown signs of being in the top 6 at one point, but it wasn't to be. But that's how it ended at the Sun City Group Macau gear race. It has been dramatic, that's for sure. Here are some of the highlights of what we've just seen. And there you have it. Well, let's hear from the champion, Stefano Camini. He's with Mark James.
Stefano, the pressure is off. You are once again the TCR International Series champion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm for the second time champion again. But Leopard Racing is the first time in the first year, and the first time with a touring car. Also, they won more than me this time. A really big thank you to Leopard Racing, WRT, Volkswagen Motorsport, because we started with a very difficult car and now we have a winning car, an amazing car. Also, thank you very much. And a big thank you to my family, to my wife. Ciao amore mio, e ai ragazzi a casa. Ciao, grazie mille.
It was 12 months ago, just over there, that I congratulated you on your first title. Does this one feel any different?
Yeah, sorry, 1 minute. What, sorry?
Don't worry, congratulations, enjoy the moment. Your dad is here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yep, it's the year of the selfie. Nothing is safe anymore. But hey, what a wonderful emotional moment for Stefano and his father as they share a special moment together. He's the man holding the sign that tells you and everybody else that he's the 2016 champion. And Nash will get a photo.
In the middle of an interview.
Well, you know what? Needs must, man.
Seize the opportunity.
Social media's out there waiting, you know.
It is true.